friends. Hello. Hello. Happy Saturday. We'll give the YouTubes just a second to catch us up here. Hang tight. Hang tight. I'm reading some of the chat. Some of you are cracking me up. All right, let's see here. All right, there we go. Good morning, friends. Happy Saturday. I have to tell you, I am fighting a migraine this morning, so I made a little bit not be myself. I took my medication for it, which tends to make me a little loopy, but it hasn't kicked in yet. So I have I'm gonna just be slow. Just headache. You know, it is what it is. I get them often-ish, and I can't let it stop me because I get them enough that if I let it stop me, I would, sometimes not have a life. So we'll just grin and bear it, deal with it today. Well, if we have clean glasses, that will help, right? If we have clean glasses. So it's almost Halloween, right? It's almost Halloween. So got some little Halloween decor behind us. And then I'm sporting my wear 1 month a year sweater, my orange and white striped sweater. And then I even have a little Halloween shirt on. Well, Halloween-ish, I guess it says Salem, for like the witch place, right? Anyhow, welcome to you. Happy Saturday. If we have not met before, my name is Lael Konkar, and I have a business called Lael by Mail. When I am not traveling, we are usually here on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and we are doing what I like to call creative listing. Basically, what we're doing is a couple days before, provide I'm usually three to four list topics or list prompts, and then when we get together, I work on my list. Some of you work on lists with me. Some of you work on different craft projects. Some of you are working. Some of you are just relaxing. Some of you are, doing whatever you do on a Saturday. But when I'm creative listing, basically what I'm doing is I'm telling a story, and I'm telling my story. In a lot of cases, it's a story that probably hasn't been told. Like one of our lists today is Halloween related. If I were to have a haunted house Halloween soiree, who would be on my invite list, right? So just sometimes they're really fun like that and really just kind of whimsical and, suited well for this time of the year. Other times they are things that maybe what I wanted to be when I grew up, or things that I never would want to be when I was a kid, so things I remember about when I was a kid, or things I'm looking forward to this winter or next year. So they really run the gamut, but just to kind of boil things down, they're a story, and they're a story that you were telling about yourself. Really easy way to tell a story because it's listing style. Sometimes we feel like we have to be Ernest Hemingway to write, right? And then that takes way too much pressure, and so we don't do it. But there's something about making a list that we can all do, right? We all grew up making a list, whether it was a spelling list or a shopping list or a to-do list or a Christmas wish list, whatever it may be. So our brains can wrap our minds around writing a list. So we're writing lists, but we're doing them creatively, and we're having fun with it. We're working with stamps and die cuts and stickers and washi and pattern paper and all different kinds of things like that. So that is what we do here on Saturdays, and welcome to you. You will find lots and lots of links in the description box of the video down below. One of those will be to my website at laelbymail.com. Another one is a link to the products I will be using today during our creative listing session. So if you see anything that I am working with and you're like, ooh, I wonder what that is, I'd like to see that more, maybe I'd like to know where to buy it on my website, it will take you to the what I'm using page, and then you can shop from there. All right, so while you are watching live, there is a live chat that takes place. So if you are watching live, I love it. You pop in the chat and say hello. You should also know when I have a migraine, sometimes my words get a little bit jumbled. So just know, it is what it is. But there's a live chat that takes place. And if you want to pop into that chat and say hello, I would love to know that you're here. Even if you're normally a lurker and you've been around for a while, but you normally don't like pop in and say chat, I would love to see you. So let's challenge you to do that today. That's also a great place for us all to catch up. If you've taken a class from me before, these lives are a little bit different than a class because there's not a lot of structure to them, right? I know what my list topics are and I know what product I'm working with, but things are really loose and free-flowing, so we can have an opportunity to chat through that chat. So chat is a great place for you to ask questions once I flip the camera and we get going. Chat is also a wonderful place for you guys to connect or reconnect in the amazing Squirrel Squad community that you guys have built here. All right, so if you are watching live, say hello in the chat. If you're watching the replay, welcome to you as well. Always fun to have you watching the replay, even if you can't join us live. And if you want to say hello there, just say hello to us in the comments when you're watching. All right, so let me take a minute or two. I want to move my gaze over to the chat, see who's here, and then we will talk about some housekeeping items, and we'll flip the camera and we'll get rolling, okay? All right, so let's see. Oh, good. I was hoping I couldn't remember. You will see someone in the chat, my right hand, Amy Sonneman, and you can easily see her because her name is highlighted in blue, and there's a little wrench next to her. And the wrench is not because she throws a wrench in things. The wrench is there because she is helping to admin the chat. As I am working with different products, she will be including links in the chat. So if there's something that you see that I'm working with, she will pop those things in the chat. So it's really easy for you to click those and go to the website and see them. Now, if you're watching the replay, you won't see those necessarily, but you can go to the link in the description box of the what I'm using. Deal? Deal. Okay. So let's say hello here. Amy said good morning. She hopes you're having a wonderful weekend, and thank you for joining us for listening. Yes, I echo Amy's sentiments, 100%. Hello, Carrie. Pouring buckets in Oregon. Perfect day to stay inside and listen to listening. And she asked, what is everyone else doing today? So I will also echo that. If you want to pop in the chat and let us know what you're doing today, it's always fun to just kind of see what everyone is doing on a Saturday in the fall. Welcome, Carrie. Hello, Miss L. Nice to see you. Carrie said, who watched What's New Wednesday this week? Yes, I did a What's New Wednesday after what seemed like forever. She can't wait for her latest order to ship. Yay for Lail by Mail, Happy Mail. We'll talk about one thing I shared on What's New Wednesday, and then we will, there'll just be lots of chatting today. Lots of fun playing and lots of chatting. Hello, Angela Burrows, Texas 25. She said, excited to list today. Carol is here from Central Canada, also excited to list with us. Ashley said, hello, friends. Hello, Pirate Wench 26. Good morning, Squirrel Squad from overcast Southern California. So I'm here in northern Utah. It's overcast-ish. I see a little bit of blue sky, but it's definitely fall here. Definitely fall. Let's see. Ashley said hello from East Tennessee. Laura Cahill said saying hello. She's traveling today. So have safe and happy travels. Hello, Rochelle Bellis 2334. Good morning. And she's a newbie. I love that. Welcome, Rochelle. And you guys know I love everyone equally. It's not like I don't have a favorite child, but I do have a soft spot in my heart for the newbies because I'm just so excited for you that you're new and just getting introduced to the world of what we do here because we have so much fun. Hello, Elizabeth. Nice to see you from sunny West Virginia. It's sunny somewhere in the United States, it sounds like. Oh, Colleen, I saw your comment earlier. I just love it. So you need to know that Colleen is from Toronto area in Canada. And Colleen said in the chat, greetings from the home of the American League champs and soon to be World Series champs. So if you didn't know, the Toronto Blue Jays are in the World Series. So Colleen, we know where your heart lies, absolutely. And good luck to Toronto. Oh, and the Dodgers. I don't know. I think it's going to be a good series. Dodgers and Blue Jays. I don't even follow baseball. I just saw it on social media somewhere. But I will tell you, part of my family is very sad that Seattle Mariners are out. My sister and brother-in-law are die-hard Seattle Mariners fans, and I think they lost. I don't know which one they lost to, the Dodgers or the Blue Jays, but unfortunately they're out. So if you are a sports fan, there you go. Go for whichever team you're rooting for. Hi, Deanna. Nice to see you. Melissa Ramirez 6172. She's on the road, but here. That's what's so great about what we do, you guys. So great about the social medias and YouTube that you can really be anywhere in the world. You can be driving. Hopefully, you're not the one that is steering, unless you're just listening and not watching. But you can be even flying, right? You know, if you have Wi-Fi in the plane. I've watched live videos on the plane before, which is a lot of fun. No matter what you're doing, it's lovely that you can be here. So thank you. Beach Gal, hello, Deborah. Nice to see you. Beach Gal, Deborah said, popping in to say hi before yoga and errands. Baseball party tonight. I'll catch up later. Sounds like a wonderful day, Deborah. Enjoy it. Let's see. Sarah BK1KC said, hello, first Lail live. Well, welcome to you. Glad you're able to join us live. Hello, Louisa from Southern California. Let's see. Okay, Sarah again said, I just found this method of memory keeping and I am very interested. I placed my first order a couple of days ago and excited to give this a go. Sarah, I'm excited for you. I have been doing this method of memory keeping creative listing for about 7 or 8 years now. No, 10 years. I started in April of 2015. And I have found it is such a great way for me personally just to do my memory keeping. And like I said at the beginning, record stories, document stories that I probably wouldn't have been telling otherwise. I will tell you that you are not alone in finding this a very intriguing concept. When I hear from people that are just starting out, one of the things I very commonly hear is they've been a memory keeper for a long time, whether that be a scrapbooker or a journaler or a memory planner or working in a traveler's notebook or whatever it is. But some of us have started to get older. Actually, all of us have started to get older, right? We can't help that. But for me, that meant empty nest. It meant no longer following my kids around with a camera, right? Like I used to back in the day. And so I kind of lost my passion for memory keeping for a bit because I wasn't quite sure where I, in that different stage of life, kind of fit, where I fit into being able to continue to do a hobby that had given me so much pleasure over the years. And that's where creative listing really kind of clicked for me because I was kind of turning my memory keeping inward and doing a lot of the memory keeping about me. And that's where the creative listing comes into play. So I hear that quite a bit from people that are maybe in the same stage of life as I am, or maybe retiring and no longer maybe necessarily have the same content that they might have in the past in terms of memory keeping. So I'm very excited for you. Hang on one sec. My nose is starting to run, so I just need to grab a quick Kleenex over here to the side, and then we'll be ready again. Okay. Sorry about that. Hello, Brenda Branton. Nice to see you. Guys, my voice still is not recovered. It has been a crazy probably 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, I don't know, whatever it is, kind of teaching in person back to back to back, and my voice is still a little there, so, or a little not there. Oopsie. Let's see. Good morning, Brenda. Hello, Louisa. Hi, dear.
Hi. Did you tell them about the hard stop today?
I have not yet. I will.
Okay.
I know you'll be here to remind me. Nick is here to remind me that I have a hard stop today at noon Pacific time. We are heading out in Harvey, our RV, for a couple days, going to southern Utah. And when I say hard stop, you better believe Nick will be in here a few minutes to noon Pacific time, reminding me. And if I go past that, he's going to cut off all the power in the whole house. Not really, but you know, but really, but not really, but really. All right, we've got some shorter lists today, maybe, so we'll see. I know we'll for sure get through 2. We should be able to at least get started on our 3rd one if we don't finish it. Crossing fingers, right? Thank you, Brenda. You know what? That's fun to said. I'm sorry you're feeling poor. Thank you. You know what? It's a way of life for me. I've had them since I was 16, and they go in spurts. They're definitely, well, for a long time they were hormone related, which a little bit they still are, but stress. It's stress, and it's usually rebound stress. So I am just kind of getting into the thing where things are settling down a little bit. I have one more in person to teach in a couple of weeks, and I have a virtual event after that I'm teaching at. So my crazy time of year is just about ready to be over. A lot of the stress is gone, but that's when sometimes the migraines come in, is it's the post rebound. Anyhow, enough about that. We don't want to talk about that. Hello, Team Fuzzy. Thank you too. Yes, go medicine. I know, go medicine. And this is the other thing. Go mini Coke. I will be continuing to sip on this. Caffeine and sugar with my migraine medicine tends to work really well. So we're having a little sip of Coke. And I do not drink soda. I haven't been drinking soda since the first of the year, but this is the exception when it happens because sometimes it's the only thing paired with that medicine that works. So cheers! Cheers to a Saturday. How about that? Cheers. Okay. Debbie said, you'll be even more fun if you're loopy. And it's not a painkiller. It's a vasodilator. So it opens up the blood vessels in my brain. And I call it a post-migraine hangover. But it just makes me a little loopy. So, and you're right, Debbie, because, you know, I am a little loopy anyway. That's just kind of my personality. That's that whole squirrel mentality. But, yeah, just be a little bit more loopy. It's all good. And you guys, I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. And I know a number of you kind of battle with those too. So apologies for that. that you have them as well. Carrie said, love the outfit. Thank you. Brenda said, I look like a Tennessee Volunteers fan in your orange sweater. So, little known fact, I, for a long while, had quite a bit of orange in my wardrobe. Both of our boys, Jack and Sam, when they were playing sports, both in middle school and in high school, they were the Brighton Bengals. And the Bengals, kind of, I guess, a little bit after almost the Clemson Tigers, and then also a little bit after the Cincinnati Bengals. But their colors were orange and royal blue. So I had an obscene amount of orange clothing to wear to all of their events. I don't really have any anymore, but this one works. So yes, I could be a volunteer at a Brighton high school or middle school sporting event, or the not Tennessee Titans. Here's where the loopy's coming in a little bit because I just said it. The Clemson Tigers. There we go. Right. Okay. Anyhow. Good afternoon, Maureen from Ontario, Canada. Deborah went to Disney Halloween dressed as Edna Mode from The Incredibles. Oh, and did you wear that suit? And you know what, Deborah, now that I picture you, I could totally see, because you kind of have her hairdo a little bit. I bet you looked great. And you know what? You were probably one of the very few people that I could see rocking her outfit, because you have a very lovely petite figure, and I know you could rock that outfit. So I sure hope you were wearing oh wait, no, okay, hold on. Okay, Edna's the grandma, right? That's not what I was thinking of. I was thinking of the mom, and I still think, oh Lord, after I said that, Edna's kind of the short grandma, and you're like, gee, Lael, thanks for saying that my figure would work with Edna. Not at all. It's the mom I was thinking, but I'll just insert open mouth, insert foot. You know what I meant, Deborah. You know I wasn't thinking Edna, because I never would have said that if I was thinking Edna. All right. Penny thoughts. Penny, is this Penny? If this is Penny, the Penny I'm thinking it is, I hope that's you. I have not seen you or heard from you in forever, my friend. I hope you're doing well. And if it's not the Penny I'm thinking of, then hi, Penny. Hi, different Penny. Let's see. Oh gosh, okay. Good afternoon, Sherry. Suzanne, One Crafty Bee Creations said good morning. You're happy to be back after 6 weeks of company. Oh, bless your heart. I mean, in a good way. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. We totally love, okay, different Penny, I'm thinking. We totally love having company, but 6 weeks is a lot. Hello, Ann Circassian, I think, right? Ann Circ. Nice to see you from Michigan, Heather Jackson. Well, and Amy did say sometimes she does throw a wrench in things, and it's not her fault that she's throwing a wrench in things. It's just sometimes when you're developing product, there's some wrenches that get thrown in things, and that's the way it is. But then she always uses her, I don't know, her Phillips head screwdriver to fix things. Let's just say that, right? Good morning, Viola. Oh yes, Amy is headed out tomorrow? I can't remember. She told me Monday. For a family trip to Halloween for Disney. That'll be so much fun. Can't wait to see photos of that. Let's see. Debbie just unboxed 2 big bookshelves and now more room for your albums. Love that. Hello, Jolene. I just want to make sure to say hello to everybody. Hello, Debbie Farnham. Okay, friends. Sorry. I am... Oh, and guess what? Terry is here too. Terry Leto is here as well. She also has been an admin for me. So now you're going to see 2 people in blue with wrenches. Hi, Terry. Say hello to Bob, please. All right, I'm going to do this. We could literally be standing here in an hour and a half, and we could still be chit-chatting, which I love. You know I love that. But not everyone is here because they would like to chit-chat, right? Some of us, some of you, some of all of us would like to maybe get down to being creative and playing, right? So I just scrolled to the bottom of the chat. If there was something that you said that I missed that you would like me to see, please go ahead in a few minutes and say it again after I've rotated the camera. If you put it in all uppercase, then I will be able to see it a little bit easier. Okay? Okay. Oh, Deborah, I know. Deborah said she's laughing so hard right now. I just saw that after the Edna thing. Deborah, I am never going to, what is it? Live that down. I'm never going to live that down with you. My blonde is showing. Okay, my blonde's showing. We're going to chalk it up to that. Let's see. Shelly Wilson 1034. I think I missed the first part of your question. So, having something to do with the Dear December Big Bundle. I'm imagining it's probably also something to do with the December Documented Mini Book Project Kit and Access. If it is, either way, will you just shoot me an email, lailbymail@gmail.com, and then we can have that chat there. Thank you. All right, my friends, I think, oh yeah, okay, before now we kind of transition into why we're here. If you would give the video a thumbs up, that would be so appreciated. That is the easiest way, quickest way, least painful way that you can really help to support any content creator that you are interacting with on the interweb. So thumbs up would be awesome. All right, so let's talk about a couple of housekeeping items. The first one, this will be the last Saturday that we are listing together for 2 weeks. All right, so today is October the 25th. November 1st, we will not be listing together because that is when I am doing, for the people that purchased my December Documented Mini Book Project Kit, that is the day, November 1st, that we are doing that long class live here on my YouTube channel. Now, you won't see it here on my YouTube channel if you didn't purchase because it's only for people that purchased the class. But that is what I will be doing on Saturday, November 1st. The following weekend, I will be out of town teaching at an event, the Lizzie Lou Christmas Bash. I will be doing that in Southern California. So next 2 weekends, the 1st and the 8th, is that right? The 1st and the 8th, yes. Do the math. We will not be listing, but then after that, we should be in the free and clear for all but one of the rest of the Saturdays through the end of the year. Nick and I are going to go to New York City for one of the Saturdays in December. I need to update our listing schedule with that. Just to kind of spend a weekend in New York in the wintertime, Christmas time. I've always wanted to do that. I've been in New York lots. One of my past careers in software took me to New York City quite a bit on Wall Street, but Nick has never been. So I thought that would be a great time for us to do that. So that's kind of our Christmas present to each other. Anyhow, just know the next 2 weeks we are not listing. What else? I've got lots of things written down. Oh yes, very quickly. This guy, it doesn't look very exciting when you see it this way. Those are the dies. That is the die set for the Dear December postage stamp. These, I just got word, are scheduled for delivery again on Monday. All right, so I put them back up on the website today. These are now back in stock. Those coordinate with those guys. All right, that is the Dear December postage stamp set that we still have. It's just these guys came in and sold almost out immediately again. So good news is I've ordered many of these because these have been so popular that going forward into 2026, we will have a whole series of stamps that go with that particular die. All right, the postage stamp die. So those are back in stock. Oh, I know, there's something I need to clear up. Apparently I caused a little bit of confusion and concern last Saturday during our creative listing session. So one of the things I shared last Saturday was that there is a manufacturer in the industry, very large, very much larger than Little Lail by Mail, that is releasing the craft storage pouches. So, and I said, wah, wah. And I didn't elaborate on a lot on that because I didn't want to get into my personal feelings on how I felt about that. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about that, right? But what some people interpreted that being is that I was going to stop doing the Lail by Mail sales or the craft storage pouches. That is not the case. Put a big circle with a big red line through it. In no way am I stopping selling my Lail by Mail branded craft storage pouches. It's 2 years ago that we started the process. And it was March in 2024 that we released the first one, and we've been releasing them ever since. There are 5. There will continue to be at least 5, if not more in the future. But just know those aren't going anywhere. Those are a very popular product. So apologies. I can't tell you how many emails I got after saying, whoa, wait a minute, why are you stopping? Don't stop. Or how many do I need to order now to make sure I never run out? So apologies for that. Just know I will continue to offer them and sell them. I had to get over being a little bit hurt that took place. But I mean, that someone else did that. That's what I mean. So it is what it is, and we're just going to continue doing what we do because that's all we can do. And I know you guys love me, and I know you support me, and I know if you need a craft storage pouch that you know where to come, right? Okay, so apologies for that concern. Check, I can mark that off my list now. We talked about the dies, we talked about the craft storage pouches. On Tuesday coming up, we have the setup for those of you that purchased the Fall Holiday Traveler's Notebook Project Kit. This coming Tuesday, we have the setup for our November Traveler's Notebook. So you should have already received an email about that. There is a reminder email that I've already scheduled to go out tomorrow, Sunday, the 26th. All right. Also, a reminder email going out next week about next Saturday, which is our December documented mini book project kit class. All right. I think that is, oh, one more. Our after party giveaway from last week. If you are new here, you need to know two things. Number one, when we are live, I do live giveaways in the chat. So stay tuned for that while I'm live today. But number two, I always like to do at least one after party giveaway for those friends that could not participate live and didn't have a chance to participate in the live giveaway. The way you participate in the after party giveaway is you leave a comment on the video when it's over. And then before we get together again, like this morning before we started, I go back to those comments and I draw one random lucky winner to win the after party prize. And I did that this morning. So our after party prize winner is Robin Morgan, and I forgot to write the rest of the little numbers after her name. But I replied to her comment on last Saturday's video. Robin Morgan, congratulations. Robin wins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 5 sizes of my craft storage pouch. Okay? So I think what we're going to do, we're going to start off with a live giveaway right off the bat, because I'm going to do another giveaway of all 5 sizes, one of each size of the craft storage pouches, the Layo by Nail ones. And if you are ever looking for the other company that released them, their craft storage pouches, I will not be selling them. So if you want those for some reason instead of mine, you will need to go elsewhere to find those. And I hope you don't. But yes, so let's do live giveaway. I'm going to turn off the overhead lights, rotate the camera, move these lights in, and then I'll take a look at the chat and I will draw for that live giveaway. So once again, in case you missed it, live giveaway takes place in the chat. So you might want to chat away right now because when I come back, I will draw. All right, let's rotate the camera to get started. And I love you guys. You guys are always, you're so sweet to me, you know, very supportive. And I just appreciate that so much. And you know what, I guess, you know what they say? What do they say? Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, unless you're in business. And then, okay, I'm going to stop. I really need to not labor on that anymore. We're going to talk about fun things. We're going to talk about some fun things. All right. I have rotated. I have all my beverages. I have water there. I better have another sip of my caffeine sugar migraine remedy. If you are watching live, and guess what? Even if you're not, now's a good reminder maybe to do a hydration break. Okay, do a little hydration break. I'm doing the same thing. All right. Now I need to put that off to the side somewhere because you know what Reggie will do? Reggie the cat will come in here and he will probably step on something and knock that Coke over, and then we'll be doing mixed media with Coca-Cola. And I am not a mixed media person, and I'm sure that I would not like to do mixed media with Coca-Cola. Okay, one last thing I want to talk about now that I flipped the camera before we dive in. Oh, just realized I don't have my list. Okay, here we go. On What's New Wednesday, I shared something. I shared that I had a very small handful, but now don't worry because I have good news regarding that. I had a very small handful of kits left over that I taught at the Crafting Through the Holidays event when I was in Texas. Was that this month? Yes, this month. When I was in Texas this month. And I said they will not be going on my website. I showed them on What's New Wednesday, and I said, if you are interested, then email me and I will take it kind of first come, first serve. And I had so many emails on Wednesday night and into Thursday. And I actually even had somebody that reached out yesterday and said, I'm sure my chances are nil, but do you have any left? So once those sold out so quickly, Thursday morning, I had my team sit down and look at what product that we still had and if we could put more kits together. The good news is I had a full pack. Well, I had extra paper. I had extra paper. And so there were a couple more things that I needed to order, and those things have been ordered. With that said, I have more of these I Am Thankful kits. So You won't see them go up on my website. If this is something that you are interested in knowing more about, the price is $90 and it includes a traveler's notebook. It includes everything you need to put the project together. It includes lots of goodies and stickers and paper and acetate, the thankful stamp set, the grateful traveler's notebook insert. Really quickly, this is what we did. So you've got a little charm that you're making here. We are decorating our pocket. So this whole thing is meant for you to document the different things that you are grateful for. We went through all different kinds of techniques. Some of my favorite techniques in working with a traveler's notebook. We created a pocket folder for adding our memorabilia, photos, and so forth. And then we decorated our grateful insert for the month of November. So every page decorated with your stamps and your stickers and your die cuts. And then we took what we had left over and we made our own junk journal traveler's notebook insert. So if you are interested in that, that does come with color step-by-step instructions that are printed in your kit. That also does come with a link to download a PDF of my whole my PowerPoint presentation that I taught with. And then it also includes access to a 35-minute video where I walk you through kind of everything we did. All right. So there we go. And if you're interested in that, again, will not be on my website. Send me an email, laelbymail@gmail.com, or go to laelbymail.com and click contact us. And once again, I will take those kind of in as a first come, first serve based on the quantity that we have left. All right, so let's stop now and let's, I'm gonna scroll to the bottom first. So I missed, if in this chat, thank you, Colleen, chat gets crazy, or Angeline, usually Colleen and Jolene, I'm plugging in. Chat gets crazy. So once I draw for those pouches, then I will be ready to look at comments again. So I am going to scroll up, and the random lucky winner is Deanna Wheat. Deanna, congratulations, Deanna. So Deanna, if you would just please send me an email, laelbymail@gmail.com. In the subject line, please put winner 5 craft storage pouches, and in the body of your email. Oh, Deanna, you know what? I believe. Oh, hold on, Deanna. I need to answer your question also about Little Craft Fest that I just saw. So, Deanna, email, subject line, winner, craft storage pouches, body of the email, please put your name and address. But then I also think that you might have I think you have an order, right? I think you ordered one of those kits. So, just let me know, okay? All right. So really quickly, I also saw right below that, Deanna also answered a question. Deanna, what you are seeing at littlecraftfest.com or what you are seeing at Little Craft Place in terms of any kind of workshops, those are still workshops. All of that is still left there from this year's Little Craft Fest. They have not started selling tickets yet for Little Craft Fest for 2026. So any of those workshops that you see those were from this year, okay? So don't worry, nothing is sold out yet. And they will be different workshops, okay? All right, my friends, scrolling. Okay, so now lots of questions about Little Craft Fest. Nothing yet, Terry. There is a Little Craft Fest taking place in Conroe, Texas, put on by Little Craft Place. That will happen in April of 2026. They've announced it, but they have not started selling tickets or workshops or anything yet. So we're good. Okay, we're good. And anything else I missed, apologies. Now is a good time to go ahead and, type it in again in uppercase and I'll see it. All right. And I just had these on the floor. So these are 2 of the craft storage pouches, if you're not familiar with what those are. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's very quickly take a look at the lists that we did when we were together last, which was last Saturday. We did 3 lists. Our first list was about last month for the month of September. This is a list we do on a monthly basis where we are just documenting what happened in the prior month. So You could call it month in review. You could call it about last month. We had a lot of fun playing with some of the products from Vicky's new Curiosities in Willow Grove collection, which we will be playing with again today on one of our lists. Played with the camera stamp and die, some fun photos. So that was first list. Any of these lists, if you want to kind of see more about them, you can just go to last week's video and watch. All right, second one. This is another list that we do usually once a month, and this one is called What a Day. So what a day, I basically just pick a day and make a list of whatever I did that day. I try to balance it out. Sometimes I like it just to have it be a very ordinary, blah, whatever day, because that's still part of our story, right? The ordinary is still part of our story. But sometimes, especially if I'm traveling, I find it fun to make a list of what I was doing a day when I was out of town. So that's what I did here. This was when I was in Texas for the Crafting Through the Holidays event. Vicki and I stayed an extra couple of days, and two lovely ladies that live in that area took us to Round Top and to Magnolia on Sunday and Monday. So that photo was from there. We played with the, oh, I forgot to grab it because I need it again today. We played for that list with the, oh shoot, that is not it. Autumn something. Kelly Bangs with Spellbinders. I need to find that before we get there. We'll get there, I'll find it. Anyhow, don't mind me. Our third list we did was in the news. So we had not done in the news for August or September because I'd been traveling so much. So I did kind of a combined list for both months. I added a tip in here. So here is my in the news list for August. And then on the back side, in the news list for September. I have photos from August and September. And then we had some fun doing a little bit of, this is from one of the collage sticker books, which was so fun because this little guy is breakdancing, but it actually looks like he's juggling the news with his feet because sometimes that's what the news feels like, right? Just a whole big juggle. All right, with that said, we are ready to dive into our first list. Yes, our hard stop is, and you guys are both correct. Terry is saying 1 o'clock. Terry knows that I am actually in the Mountain Time Zone. So Terry is also in the Mountain Time Zone. So my hard stop is really 1 o'clock, but it's Mountain Time. Those of you that are saying noon, you are also correct because it is noon Pacific Time. I always skip Mountain Time because a lot of people get confused and don't know Mountain Time. So our first list, my friends, is a list that we started doing back in December of this year. A very dear friend of mine, we were sorority sisters in college. We've known each other since 1986, so almost 40 years, right? Next year will be 40 years. She's my dearest friend. Her husband is Nick's best friend. They were fraternity brothers. Our kids grew up together. We travel with them often. But we were with them in December of last year, and she introduced this concept to me, and it's a concept called glimmers. Glimmers. Glimmers, and I pull this out every time. This is a very easy way to explain it. Glimmers is opposite of a trigger. So a lot of us are familiar with the term trigger. Sometimes things trigger us, and if they trigger us, generally that's in not necessarily a good way. But a glimmer is the opposite. Glimmers are those moments in your day that make you feel joy, happiness. Oh my gosh. Well, guess what? I'm already down this path. Our first list was going to be Halloween because that's what I have out, but we're already down this path. Migraine. Apologies. So glimmers are those moments in your day that make you feel joy, happiness, peace, or gratitude. Once you train your brain to be on the lookout for glimmers, these tiny moments will appear more and more. And I don't know about you guys, but I have never once said to myself, you know what, Lael, I really don't need joy. I really don't need any more happiness in my life. I really don't need more peace in my life. I really don't need more gratitude in my life. So I am all for being on the lookout for glimmers, and even more importantly, training my brain to be on the lookout for them. Because if I train my brain, then that equals joy, happiness, peace, or gratitude. All right. So glimmers. We've been doing those once a month since since December of last year. When we look at our glimmers lists, let me pull one here, the last one that we did. Let's see, it should be in here. I think, right? There we go. Sometimes I include photo. Sometimes I do not. Sometimes it's a 1-page list. Sometimes it's a 2-page list. But in all cases, when I'm working on a glimmers list, with the exception of the very first one, because it didn't exist yet, I am using one of two of the glimmers stamps and dies. All right, so this was the original glimmers stamp set. This is the fastest stamp set I ever developed. It was about 20 minutes because I did this right after we did our first glimmers list. I'm like, you know what? We need a stamp to be able to document our glimmers. So glimmers, that's the original. And, oh, not in there. Oh, here we go. There's a set of shadow dies, word and shadow dies that go along with that for that glimmers word. And then earlier this year, we came out with a glimmers 2 stamp set. So glimmers 2, and now there is a die set that coordinates with the glimmers 2 stamp set. So I will be working with both of those stamp sets today. So what I try to do, and I will be honest with you, I did not do this time. I try throughout the month, as I notice glimmers, I have a running note on my phone where I keep about last month things, where I keep in the news things, and where I keep glimmers things, because more often than not, I'm sitting down to do a glimmers list and I'm like, oh shoot, what glimmers did I notice this year? And so if I keep a note on my phone, then when I sit down to do a glimmers list, it makes it a lot easier to do. But I didn't do that this time. So I had to really think this morning about the glimmers that kind of been present or presented themselves to me in the last couple of weeks, right? And one hit me right off the bat because Nick and I woke up, it was about 6:45. We're sitting there in bed drinking coffee and the blinds are still closed in our bedroom, but there's this amazing, gorgeous glow, this orange glow coming through the blinds. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Nick. And I jumped up and I opened the blinds and it was the sunrise. It was a beautiful sunrise coming up over the mountains. So that is, for me, a great example of what a glimmer is, right? It's nothing big, really didn't affect my life in any way, but it gave me that nice spark of joy or peace or happiness, and that's what a glimmer is. So for me, I think it's important to recognize those, but it's also important to document those. So I'm not going to be documenting them with Halloween. We will be doing our next list with Halloween. So let's just move Halloween off to the side for a minute there. I just got those out of order. I was so excited to jump in with glimmers. Crafty Maggie, I love that. Crafty Maggie said glimmers have always been a part of my day, my life. And you know what? For a lot of us, maybe we've noticed things like that, but maybe we've never really intentionally focused on them or maybe thought about documenting them. But I love that, Crafty Maggie. I love that's been a big part of your life. And congratulations, Carmen. She said her glimmer, having my divorce finalized on my 13-year anniversary, October 1st. Carmen, congratulations. I know that has been a long haul for you. And I'm very happy for you. And I love that you're looking at that as a glimmer. All right, so this is going to be a 2-page list. I have lots. Now, remember this morning I said I had nothing on my list? I had nothing on my glimmers list. Well, look at all of the things now. As I started thinking about them as I was getting ready, I'm like, oh yeah, that's one. Oh yeah, that's one. That's one. Sometimes you have to look a little harder for them, right? Sometimes they're there. We just have to look for them. So I am going to use some products from Vicky's Curiosities in Willow Grove collection again. And I think I'm going to be able to fit all of my glimmers on one side of my list. So here, I think I'm just going to decorate this side. All right, we'll see how that goes. Carol said she finally started keeping them on a list on her phone too. Right, very good. All right, so I've got some pattern paper here, but I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we'll do pattern paper here, but over here I think we're not going to do anything. There are so many beautiful florals. We may end up with this guy. There are so many beautiful florals in this collection. So I thought it might be fun to make kind of a field of flowers over here. And then, I don't know, maybe my title goes there. Let's see. So I'm just pulling right now flowers from some of the die cuts, flowers and foliage. Flowers and foliage. Lots of fun flowers and foliage in this collection, that's for sure. I won't be using any leaves though. I think I'll just keep it pretty neutral. Well, neutral with no leaves. I mean, well, These are leaves, I mean like fall leaves like this. All right, not those kind of leaves. And we may end up with a butterfly or two in there. I just need get a good assortment of pieces and heights over here, right? I need to have a nice variance of height. We may work in a butterfly or two. So I did, on Wednesday of this past week, I did kind of an unboxing. We looked at Vicky's full, ooh, maybe this one, that might be good too. We looked at all of the pieces. Oh, nope, so special. We looked at all of the pieces in the Curiosities in Willow Grove collection. So if you haven't seen that, or maybe you've seen it, but you haven't really, really taken a deep dive into it, maybe we'll hop over to my What's New Wednesday of this week, and I'm sure Amy will pop that in the, we have any flowers there? No. Amy will pop that for us in the chat. And if you're not watching live, you can, ooh, these will be some great height pieces. You can find that just in the what I'm using, linked in the description box of the video. Hello, Robin Morgan. I don't know if you were here or heard, but you were the Random Lucky After Party Prize winner from last week. So congratulations, Robin. And if you missed that and you're not sure what to do, just shoot me an email. All right, I think we're going to make a lot of use out of the laser cut foliage. All right, so if you're not familiar with the 49 Market laser cuts, they are amazing. And this is why. When I pull this piece out, you have to be very gentle when you are pulling the laser cuts away from the sheet, because they some of them are very intricate and delicate. So when I do this, do you see that? I mean, look how intricate that is. That looks like, if you didn't know, you'd be like, Lael, are you like pulling like greenery from your yard or the mountains? Because that looks so real, because that laser cut gives you an entirely different look than, say, a die cut, right? And they're both great, but very different. This looks almost three-dimensional, where that is very much flat, right? So we'll be pulling a couple of things from there, and I love this guy. This guy will give us some nice height. Sometimes I do one-page lists, and one of my lists today will be a one-page list, but oftentimes I have people reach out and say, Lael, I really don't like one-page lists because I don't like how a completely different knit list with completely different product and a completely different topic looks sitting next to it on the page. So if I only have enough content for one list, what could I do on the second page? And that's one of the things we'll do today. I think I probably have enough content to only fill one side of my spread. So on the second page, I can just decorate with pieces like this. On the second page, I can do a quote. Sometimes we do a little quote, or sometimes we do a fun title on our second page. Sometimes we do a photo or series of photos on the second page. So lots of different options. I'm just pulling out some shorter pieces and taller pieces here. We also have some rub-ons that we may be working. Oh, see, that's what I did. You got to be so careful with some of these. I just lost one of my little buds. Oh, I lost two of them. Oh, so yeah, okay, well, that'll be okay. I have three there, and I lost two on my sheet. I was trying to do that too quickly. Maybe this guy too. And then we'll have enough out that I think we can work with, and then if I need to have filler anymore, then I'll just add it when we get there. So if you're just joining us, our first list that we're diving into is glimmers. Those little sparks of joy or happiness, can be super basic things. Like I was saying earlier, the sunrise. Saw the sunrise this morning, and it was stunning. And it's just one of those, oh, it's going to be a beautiful day. And guess what? Even if it's not a beautiful day, it's something to at least start your day, right? All right, so this is going to be my left page. I'm going to continue to work in those flowers. One of the things we talked about when I did the unboxing on Wednesday was that so many of Vicky's collections are, well, they're all wonderful. You guys know, she's my dearest friend, one of my dearest friends. And I think she's so talented. But one thing that she does, well, one of the things, I shouldn't say one thing. One of the things that she does extremely well, in my opinion, is balance her collections out with things that we can use year round, right? I could use any of these flowers. So much of this collection I could use for really anything. Doesn't have to be fall, or it doesn't have to be, I mean, I could use this collection in the spring or the summer or the fall, even the winter, right? Even the winter. Hello, TK, nice to see you. All right, so this is going to be my left page. And I am going to round the outside corners. So the bottom and, excuse me, the top and bottom left corners. And I do that because with my Lail by Mail Traveler's Notebook inserts, they are rounded corners. I was talking when I was cutting this, so let me tell you what I did. I am working with the 6x8 papers from that collection, the 6x8 paper pack. And the Traveler's Notebook inserts I use are standard wide. They are 5 inches wide by 8.25 inches tall. And when I'm working with the 6x8 paper, all I have to do is trim off just a little tiny bit and then from the edge, and then I have a nice border all the way around. Now, sometimes people say, Lael, I have a bunch of these. This is what we had left that we cut off, right? Don't throw these away. You can use them, right? Sometimes I would just use it right there and then do whatever I'm doing over here just to kind of extend that. Sometimes I'll pop it over here and then do whatever I'm doing here. So I could even really, if I just had a 1-page list, that is enough to add something like that right there. Maybe to add a little flower like this right there. And then there's my list, right? So these little 1-inch pieces that you are cutting, they don't have to be garbage. They also have coordinating with some of the manufacturers that do 6x8 have a pattern on the backside, all right? But I'm just going to use this one here. I am going to work off the page. So because I can, that's where my list will go, at least on that side for a minute. I will work off the page. Now I won't make my list directly on that, right? It would be very difficult to see. That is just going to be a background for me. So I've taken out some white cardstock and I'm just going to eyeball this, but always eyeball it right about the same. Pencil, always eyeball it right around the same, and it ends up being usually about 3 3/4 by 7. So let's see what we get here. Huh. Dead on 3 3/4 by, let's see here. And this is what I will do my list on. 3 3/4, and that, see, dead on. That is an eyeball. That is a dead on eyeball. That doesn't sound very good. Maybe it's Halloween, so we can say dead on eyeballs. Then maybe it's appropriate. All right, punchy loopy. You're getting punchy loopy Lail today. Virginia, we're working on our glimmers list. All right, so I think now I'm going to, forgot to get this out earlier. My tape runner. Oh, but I'm not ready for that yet. We'll just put this off to the side for a sec. Oh my gosh, there we go. All right, I'm going to start over here. This is going to end up going here, so we'll leave this just so we can kind of see, but I would like to kind of start building this out over here. This guy's pretty tall, and so maybe we'll let this bleed off the page a little bit. And now I'm just looking for my varying height things. Let's see, this is probably going to be a little bit too short to go in there. I don't know, maybe. Beautiful tall purple. So far I have a mix of die cut and 2 laser cuts. And I'm not worried that this stem is kind of just floating into no man's land. We'll put something else down there so we won't even see that. Like something maybe like this. So we're just taking a bunch of these flowers and we are almost making a little, I guess, collage, right? And we're just going to work with them until we get them where we like them. Now, this one probably needs to be a little bit higher. And maybe we'll add this guy in here somewhere. Let's see. So when you're layering like this, it's a game, right? It's just a game of putting things down until you like the way they look, right? I think we'll start with that. Ooh, this might be another good one to put in here somewhere. maybe these just go right here. Oh, I have this little guy too. There was this little guy that we heard. Ooh, that'll be a nice pop of color right there, right? And then I think we like this blue. We get a nice cross section of color here. Some overlapping. All right, I think I like that. I think we're good. We need something small maybe to go right in there. Maybe we'll come in a minute with the rub-ons. So normally what I would say here, okay, we just made, they do look like pressed flowers, Crafty Maggie. Absolutely, they look like pressed flowers. I love it. All right, so normally what I would say here is, in fact, I'm just gonna try it. We're gonna try it and see what happens. When you have spent a lot of time, well, in this case, it wasn't a ton of time, but as I here was working on kind of placing these things where I wanted them, and I feel like, okay, that's pretty good. I feel like I've got a pretty good placement. We'll come in and fill in a little bit of the space in a minute, maybe with some rub-ons or something. Now, usually what I would have to do is I'd have to pick all of those back up. I'd have to pick each of them back up individually and get out my little glue pen and then start gluing things down. And once I did that, well, I've just spent all that time figuring out where I wanted those things to go. And now I'm like, oh shoot, I know I've got to pick them each up individually and adhere them and try to get them back in the way that I liked them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this highlighter tape. Highlighter tape is a removable, repositionable tape that is meant for highlighting in like textbooks or magazines or Bibles or something like that. The reason why that's important, if you think of highlighting something in a Bible or a magazine, a textbook, something that has a very thin, thin page, because it's designed for that, it is designed that when you pull it off, it's not going to pull the paper off with it, right? We don't want to be highlighting a passage that we wanted to remember and then pull it off later and have it pull off the entire passage. So we can use something like this, the highlighter tape, to take a whole bunch of different die cuts and turn them into one. So you'll notice I've added just a couple of pieces of tape so that those are all now, except for this little guy. We'll add that little guy at the beginning or at the end. I can gently lift all this up, and now that is one continuous piece as opposed to all those, well, now it's two. I didn't connect those two together. But I have two pieces, and that makes it a lot easier for me to work with. Really, I'm going to have those placed when I set them down exactly or close to exactly, oopsie, that doesn't go there, where I wanted them. So I'm just coming in with my glue pen. A glue pen, in my opinion, is a must when it comes to working with these laser cuts. I don't even know how you would adhere these. They're so intricate. You couldn't do it with your tape runner because you'd end up with tape, showing through and sticking to other things. So I don't need a lot, right? I just want to try to get most of those little guys covered. Like that. We got to get all these little pieces we've got there. Okay, so now let's go ahead and pick this back up. I'm going to do this with my tweezers. And come in over here. So we know this was all over here. We know we wanted it bleeding off of the edge a little bit. Tilt that and release. All right, so I am going to press down so that those are all nice and stuck down. This one I'll probably have to add a little bit more adhesive behind just because I wasn't able to get a lot of adhesive because it was covered kind of by that guy. And then I want to lift up on that tape and it comes right off. All right. If you are one that struggles with layering, there's a couple things that we've covered here. We have different sizes, we have different shapes, we have different heights, we have different densities, right? These are more dense than the laser cuts, but that's kind of the trick when you are layering. You want things to be varied, right? You don't want to have all the same size, you don't want to have all the same color, well, I guess you could have the same color. You don't want to have all the same shape. That is being cognizant of those things, I don't think I got any adhesive on there, barely. Being aware of those things when you are layering, I think makes a big difference in the outcome, especially if you're one that sometimes steers clear of trying to layer things because you're like, I don't really know, it never looks right. And the other thing, and here it won't be an issue because I have so many, if you are layering, they say that you should layer in evens instead of odds, because odds generally is more pleasing to the eye than even. It looks more balanced. Get those little guys pressed down. You have to really go in fine here with this little stem. All right. And just so you know, I am not, because I've been putting these guys down, I have not been checking out the chat. So I've missed all kinds of things in the chat. I know Amy is here to answer questions in the chat if something has come up that I'm not seeing. So once I get these down, I will stop and kind of take a look at the chat in case there's anything I needed to see. All right, so we're gonna have a similar, not issue, but a similar situation come up with this guy that's underneath because I'm not able to add any adhesive to him because that piece is covering it. All right, let's come back in with this piece now. In my opinion, reverse grip tweezers make life so much easier with this. Reverse grip tweezers, you have to squeeze them to open them. So kind of the reversed effect of a regular pair of tweezers. So it makes it really easy to work with when you are trying to place something like that, that's a little intricate and has a lot of little parts to it. A lot easier to hold on to those with your tweezers than hold on to those with your fingers. And peel that away. So we have just peeled that highlighter tape away from foil on vellum. We peeled it away from die cuts and we peeled it away from laser cuts, and we've had no issue with any of that pulling off. All right, now let's cut this off the edge here. We're just giving a little haircut. Generally, my rule of thumb is I don't like things to stick out of the pages of my traveler's notebooks because anything that sticks out is just going to get jumbled around and ruined. All right, so it's Amy just brought up a good point. I know sometimes people will use press and seal. The press and seal, like saran wrap, but press and seal. That can work with your die cuts, and what she's suggesting, and I would agree with her, be really careful with that when you're doing that, if you're doing that with laser cuts, because laser cuts are so intricate that you may have an issue with losing part of your laser cut. Scarlet Forever, no, we've been on for about an hour, my friend. All right. So now let's see. Oh, I know what we have to do because this is already bothering me. It already looks like something is weird. I need to get out my handy dandy trusty Sharpie and outline my page. It looks naked to me if I do not do that. And I won't do that yet over here because we'll be doing something else over here. Now, I pulled out a couple of other, that would have been good if I had brought it in earlier. I don't think we need that. I think we'll be okay. We'll see. I might add that, and then we need to fill in a few of the things over here. So I have a mixture of die cuts. I have a mixture of the foil die cuts and the laser cuts. Oh, this one might be kind of fun in there. This guy. Let's see. Aha. So this guy, this is a foiled piece of acetate. I think this will be a nice little piece to pop right in there. And for that, I am going to grab a glue dot. Let's grab a glue dot under that clear acetate. I don't really want to use my tape runner, so. Actually, let's camouflage that. I have popped the glue dot right behind that area, and that's the most dense area on that piece. So we really won't see that glue dot at all. All right, so look, we just filled in that little space. All right, what else? I think we'll probably leave this sit for a minute. Now let's come back to this side. So over here, beautiful, right? This paper is the perfect paper to kind of blend with all of that. I am going to, this is going to be no surprise to some of you, especially Terry. I need to pull out an ink color. And the ink color I'm going to pull out of this is, ding, 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 this guy, Fossilized Amber. So I'm going to do two things with that. I will be stamping with that, but I will also, ooh, and you know what else? Actually, let's see here. I know, because I know Fossilized Amber will go really well with that and the yellow over here, but I might want to pull in maybe a little bit of a green like that on something else. So let's see what we have here. These are all of my Distress Oxides, and now the 3 new Lisa Horton metallic inks. I have swatched all of my inks with the Swatch This Ink stamp set. So now as I'm looking for a green, I don't have to go pull out all my greens and look to see which works. All right, so let's see. We're going to do, I kind of come to my green area here. Let's see what might work. And if you think green is green, well, look at all the different shades of green here, right? Lots of different shades. So Shabby Shutters could work. Bundled Sage, but Bundled Sage really isn't it. I think it's Peeled Paint. Crushed Olive, I think it's going to be too close to Fossilized Amber. So let's also grab Peeled Paint out. I'll probably do a little bit of stamping with Peeled Paint because I will need a little bit more color to show. All right, so what I'm going to start out with is this. I am going to ink the edges of this so it's not so stark white. And I will do that. Let me just erase this little guy here. My little pencil mark is still there. I'm going to ink the edges with Fossilized Amber. And I'm going to pull out the Fossilized Amber little blending foam here. As I am inking the edges, I will talk about this little thing that I just pulled out. This is a ink blending foam. I'm totally messing up the words. Ink blending storage kit. I know Amy will add a link to those, so you know what's going on. But this is the words are having a hard time with the migraine, friends. This tool is your ink blending tool. It has Velcro on the top, so it holds on to your little ink blending foam. All right, those are domed ink blending foam heads. So I'm taking that color and I am adding a little ink in a circular motion, and then I'm going to just come in and ink the edges of this. So that little storage case, that is one of our products. That is one of the first products Amy brought to me when we first started working together. She said, I have this great idea for a product. And most of our products, you guys, are kind of necessity is the mother of invention, right? With this guy, if you have your little ink blending tool with your little heads, it's not necessarily easy to organize and store all of those. So that's what that storage solution is. They are little boxes like that. We do them for probably 12 different inks now. So when you order, you are picking what inks that you have. This is the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink. So you are ordering the box and the sheets go with the box, and you're picking the ink that you use. You also, with that box, get 40 pre-punched circles that you can swatch your inks with. They don't come pre-swatched. So you can swatch your inks, and then also includes 40 of your little Velcro pieces, and that's what holds those little heads on, all right? So you will see those on the website, and Amy just linked those in the chat. The ink blending foam storage kit. That's a mouthful. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy. All right, we'll put that back. So what that just did for us, you guys, that's about as mixed media as I get these days, right? Not these days, ever. So let's just look at the difference. That is what it would look like with white cardstock. And this is what it looks like with the yellow, right? It just, I don't know, it just gives it something. And that's an easiest way to add a little something. Almost looks like I added a piece of yellow cardstock that I matted behind that, right? But we didn't have to do that. That's just some of my scratch paper. Don't mind the backside of that. Alrighty, now I will also come in and outline this guy. That is really going to frame now my list. That's the base for my list. Nice and framed. All right. So that's kind of where we're headed. I am ready to start over here. And what I think I'm going to do, I think I am going to find my Glimmers stamp sets. So I think I will, let's look. Let's just look and see what we have here. Oopsie, put that back. These are I store all of my stamps and dies this way. These are the stamp storage sleeves. They come in 4 sizes. This is a 4x6 for my 4x6 stamps. They come in 3x4, 4x6, 5x7, and 6x8. So I know I will use one of these. What I need to decide is, do I want to use a Glimmers title over here? Oh, I know I don't. You know why? Because I have not, well, all right, let's think about this. I've not left myself enough room. However, I can still use it. I think I'll use this here, and you'll see how I do that. And then I will use one of these over here. How about this, Joy in the Ordinary? Joy in the Ordinary could just go right there, I think. Or this put a smile on my face, Joy in the Ordinary, a day brightener, something about this moment. I think Joy in the Ordinary is going to be nice over here. So let's start with that. That is from Glimmers 2. Let's grab a stamping block. I have already used those stamps. So they have already been primed or conditioned. That is the first thing you need to know about stamping if you're just starting stamping. And if you didn't know this is something you need to know. Duh. I meant duh to myself, not duh to you. Your stamps are not ready to be used right out of the package. They're not. Most of us don't know that. I didn't know that when I first started stamping. I had no clue. 5 or 6 years ago, I had no clue. So when we rebranded the new logo, we started changing up the packaging and all of the stamps. So depending on your stamps, you may or may not see this on the back of the packaging. You have information about stamp care, and you have a QR code that you can scan for a free class here on my website that will walk you through a couple of different methods or priming or conditioning your stamps before you use them. But there is also a free class here on YouTube that, Amy, if you would link that up, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. That walks you through a couple of different, again, methods for priming or conditioning your stamps. Trust me, you will be so much happier with stamping if you do that first. But I've already done that, so I won't go through it. I have learned a lot about stamping over the last 6 years. Priming or conditioning is super important, super helpful. The next thing that I believe is a huge game changer when it comes to stamping is to right size your stamping block, or your stamp to your stamping, right size your stamping block to your stamp. You want the smallest possible stamping block that is closest in size to your stamp. That makes life so much easier, all right? So I couldn't use that one. I tried with this one, but too wide, right? My stamp was too wide. You don't want to use a stamping block that's too wide. Now, if I only had one stamping block, I would probably have to have a pretty large one, right? To work with all of my stamps. This would work. I could absolutely use this giant stamping block for this little stamp. It just makes it a lot trickier because I have all this extra weight and all this extra surface area that I am trying to balance to get a nice even impression and something I'll be happy with. Much easier to handle something that's right sized to my stamp. Right? I believe that makes a huge difference. At least it did for me in my stamping. Next thing is testing your stamp before you use it. All right, that is, again, one of the biggest things, I think, the biggest game changers when you are stamping. I want to test it to make sure, do I like the color? Is the stamp clean? If I'm spelling something, did I spell it correctly? And is it on my stamping block straight? Anything I need to learn before I stamp in my project. I would much rather learn as I'm testing it. So I just have my little sketch notebook here, my little, you can see that's basically what I use it for. I've got all kinds of stamps in there just to, you know, I open up to a page and we go, let's see, where's some room? How about right here? And I test that. I can test for how much pressure I need to apply, especially in something like this. If I press really hard, I am going to probably start to flatten out those narrow lines, and it's not going to maybe look as good as I would like it to. I think one of the biggest common misconceptions when it comes to stamping is that you need to press really hard. So when I do that, and I tried to over exaggerate it, do you see how that looks kind of blurry and it just looks fuzzy? That's because I pressed really hard. You don't need to press as hard as you think you do, because when you press hard, you're going to flatten out part of that polymer, and it is going to kind of blur on you. So test ahead of time. Test to make sure that you're going to like the way it looks. Test to make sure you like the color. I think we're just going to put this little guy maybe right about here. Another thing you don't want to do is you don't want to rock the stamp, all right? So if you rock the stamp, and I did not rock it there, but if you rock it, you're going to put undue pressure on the top where you're rocking it and the bottom where you're rocking it. So you may end up with more blur at the top, because if you're rocking, you're applying a lot of pressure there. The same thing on the bottom. You guys, those are all things I learned just by playing. When you are playing, that's what we're doing. Play, right? Test things out. That's how we learn, right? If I do not cook. You may have not known that about me. I don't cook at all. And if someone said to me, Lael, you need to make a 5-course meal for tonight, I'd be like, oh my gosh. Well, if I don't cook and I've never tested anything out, it's probably not going to turn out very well, right? Maybe I'm using recipes that I've clearly never made before, but maybe I've never had before. So it would be better if I had some time in that situation to test some of the recipes, to learn how to cook before I had people over for a 5-course dinner, right? That we totally get. That makes a lot of sense. But for some reason, sometimes when it comes to mixed media and playing, or stamping and playing, we don't get that. We don't get that we really should be testing before we commit. All right. So that is another one of the biggest things that I've found has been very helpful when it comes to stamping, is test and play first, right? See what happens if you press too hard. See what happens if you don't press hard enough. See what happens if you rock it. See what happens if you use a large stamping block. See what happens if you use one that's too small, because that doesn't really work out either. Hello, Kelly Dugan. Hello, Rosie Day Life. Nice to see you, ladies. So I just saw something, Carla. Just quick check-in from Arkansas. You missed last week's session as you were at your son's wedding, which is fabulous. Congratulations. However, this week you're missing. You're on your way to check on your mom who fell. She fell and broke her leg. They didn't make it to the wedding. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Carla, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that she recovers quickly and well. Let's see, Rosie Day Life. Rosie Day Life, who are you? Your name changed. I can't see your little, oh wait, is that Lauralee? I can't see. I'm trying to see your little tiny face on YouTube. Laura, hi Laura. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Laura, I can't say was. It was an amazing designer. She is an incredibly talented designer and rocks my products like crazy. But was with me on my design team, kind of on and off over the years. But she does, and she's kind of guest designing right now with my Dear December collection. But she does amazing work. And you will see her work all over my website with a lot of my products. She is a stamper extraordinaire. Nice to see you, my friend. All right. Scarlet Forever O'Hara 9852. We are using products from Vicki Bouton's Curiosities in Willow Grove collection. And you will find that linked in the description box of the video under what I am using. All right, so now we were talking about using this glimmers list. Now, there's a little bit of a problem because it's a little bit too wide. And I know me. I know that I am not going to like the way that looks if I stamp it on there. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to stamp and die, and then maybe die again. And when I say die, I mean use my die cutting machine. All right, so let's start with this. We'll grab the coordinating dies. That is the word die. That's a shadow die. The shadow is the one, I mean, I know I'm going to use the word die, but I may use the shadow die as well. All right, so let's do this. This is just white cardstock. I will end up stamping on white cardstock. Now, I use this peeled paint over here, but I don't think I want to use peeled paint over here. I think I'd like to use fossilized amber. So I pulled out, you notice I pulled out a different size stamping block. That is our 1x5. Your 1x5 is designed for long skinnies like this guy. It just makes it a lot easier to work with. So let's get this. I just had a thought. I'm gonna try something after I do this. And we'll see what happens. I've never really tried this before, so we'll see. Hang tight. All right, so we want to get that nice and inked up. Now, normally I would say test this first, right? But I just have white cardstock here, so I can just test it on here. And if it works, great. But if it doesn't, then I'll just stamp it again. So I'm even testing this. I want to make sure that my stamp is clean. There's no lint or hair that is preventing my ink from sticking. Nice even pressure. I stand when I stamp. Lovely. I stand when I stamp. That's another big game changer, in my opinion. And all I do is give you guys my opinion. I am not the expert. I just tell you what has worked for me, and maybe it'll work for you. I stamp the entire time. When I'm teaching, I stamp. Okay, I think I said the wrong word there. I stand the entire time. When I'm teaching, when I'm doing my lives, when I'm doing my own personal crafting, when I'm designing, I stand all the time. That's how I've always done it. So I am very much used to kind of a bird's eye view. If I have to sit and craft, it's a mess because things are so crooked because I'm not used to that. And if you're a sitting crafter, that's okay. I won't try to change your mind there. But what I will try to change your mind on is standing and stamping. If you normally stamp and you are sitting down, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to stand and stamp. When you are sitting, you have T-Rex arms. Okay, you don't have a lot of range of motion with your arms when you are sitting. Stamping is all about leverage and range of motion. So if I'm sitting, I don't have a lot of leverage and I don't have a lot of range of motion because my little T-Rex arms can only go so far. When I stand, I have so much more leverage and range of motion. Those things are really important, in my opinion, when you are stamping. So next time you stamp, just try, okay? Maybe you don't feel like being creative. Just then, that's a great time to play. Get out your stamps, get out some scratch paper, and play and see what happens, all right? Virginia asked, I love stamping with white ink. Any tips? Virginia, I will leave that open to someone else in the chat to maybe give you some tips. I don't use white ink. I have it, but I don't use it. But anyone that uses white ink and would love to share your input, would love to have you do that in the chat. All right, so what I'm doing here, I'm going to clear some things out of the way a little bit. I'm going to bring in my die cut machine. All right, first thing, this die cut machine that I use is the Anna Griffin Empress Mini. It is small and compact. I use it when I am doing things live. I use it when I'm travel and I am doing demos or doing classes, what have you. This is what I use because it's nice and compact. After lots of requests, maybe 4 months ago, I started selling these on my website. This is an electronic machine, meaning I turn it on and it does the work for me. Now, there's not a lot of work that needs to be done when you are working with a die cutting machine. Many of the die cut machines have a hand crank and you're just cranking your plates through as opposed to it electronically pulling them through. What is happening in this big heavy machines, you have two very heavy metal rollers. And when you are putting your sandwich through, we'll talk about sandwich in a minute, it rolls it through those rollers. It applies an immense amount of pressure, and that is what is making the metal die cut whatever image you are trying to cut. So we're making a sandwich. Let's all go back to 3rd grade in the summertime when our mom was making us a bologna sandwich. That's what I'm making here, bologna sandwich. I have not had a bologna sandwich probably since 3rd grade, but here you go. Our bottom plate is the bottom of our bologna sandwich. That would be a white piece of Wonder Bread because that's what it was back then. There's our bottom. sandwich, bread on the bottom, right? Then we have our plate, all right? This is, and with this machine, it is a magnetic mat. It's something that you are putting your die and whatever you are die cutting on. So this would be my bologna, all right? Next up on my sandwich is bologna. This, what I want to die cut out, is going to be my Kraft singles piece of cheese, right? That would be next on our sandwich. Back then would be a piece, we unwrap it from the plastic and smack it on our bologna, right? We're just making our sandwich. This is where the analogy of a sandwich in third grade now starts to fall apart, because I need one more layer on my sandwich. Back in third grade, I would not be adding a piece of lettuce on my bologna sandwich. But in this case, we need one more layer, so this would be the lettuce. This is the metal die that is going to cut that stamped image out. I want to place it the way I have set this up. I want to place it face down, so the raised edges will be face down, and that is what's going to cut this stamped image out. And then I am just going to kind of move it around until it looks pretty even on there. And because this is a magnetic mat, I do not need to I don't need to tape it down or anything. If you're not working with a magnetic mat, it's a good idea to use washi or to use your highlighter tape or something to temporarily hold that in place so it doesn't move when you're doing your die cutting. There's our sandwich. Second piece of Wonder Bread, right? So here we go. I already turned it on. I'm going to take my sandwich and start feeding it through right there. All right? And I press run. You may have heard it right at the very end. You heard it go kind of, and that was it kind of at the very end. Doesn't matter. All right. So I'm going to move this up to the side for a minute. I don't want to put it away yet because I might still use that. So here we have our nice die cut image. Now, if I had to fussy cut that, well, guess what? That wouldn't have happened, right? But that is the beauty of a metal die paired with a stamped image. All right. So now here, I could put that there, but then it's like, well, Lael, why did you even do that? Right? Because it's white on white and you can't even really tell that I did that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use the shadow die. So the shadow die will now make a slightly wider cut piece this can then mat on top of. So I'm going to try two things here. The first thing I'm going to try is, I haven't done this, so I don't know. We'll see. I was thinking, well, we used a little bit of this already. What if I wanted to create my own background of that exact color? All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to grab, where did my test notebook go? Here it is. I just need to put something down so if I go off the edge, that I don't go off the edge and put peeled paint on my work surface here. So I'm gonna try this. Basically, I think I'm just painting a background with that ink, all right? So I'm giving myself a pretty solid, make sure that's wide enough. Maybe just a little bit more right here. All right, so I can do that, but I might also, let's give that a second to dry because it is a Distress Oxide. It's a pigment-based ink, so it takes a second to dry. Let's also go back and look at our pattern paper from Curiosities in Willow Grove. So what I'm, again, going for is a little bit of a border. So that would go like that, and then this piece would go right in there. So we're not going to see very much of it. So I don't want it to be something that busy. We kind of lose all of that. So I'm just going to look at, I don't think we want, I don't know, it would really change it if I put pink here. So I don't think we want to do pink. We could do an orange. I don't know. I'm thinking that we could do something really soft like that. That green. You know what? We're going to see what happens here, all right? I think we want to try this and see what happens. We'll see if we like it. So if I had a heat gun, I'd probably heat that really weird. I mean, I'd heat it really quick. I know Carol said that may take some time to dry, right? Um, Today is World Fussy Cutting Day, Colleen. Okay. I know that is in remembrance of someone in the paper crafting industry that passed away earlier this year. I didn't know the person, so I don't know the person's name. But from what I understand, that she did a lot of fussy cutting. So I love that. And I think she's Canadian too. Is that right, Colleen? All right, let's just see here. Oh yeah, see, we need a bit for that to dry. So let's set that off to the side to dry for a minute. And let's clean my finger of that, or else I'll end up with peeled paint fingerprints on my list. All right. So now what we're going to do, we will make sure we leave enough room on our list for our title, right? So this guy, just for now, it will be sitting kind of about right here. So we don't want to get too close to it. I want to make sure to leave myself plenty of room for my listing down here. Now, I can't leave it totally blank on this side. We need to do a little bit of decorating or else it'd be too plain. Let's sit this next to this side over here. And I had pulled this piece out. I thought that could maybe be fun. So this guy could go right there and that little details would be there. I have another flower. Maybe that goes there. I think I like that. So let's pull this off again. Let's come back here. We'll have that go left to right. I'm just going to grab one of these pieces just to hold those two together so I know where I liked those. And here I can use my tape runner because obviously those are much larger pieces, right? Bring this back here. And I am having that flower is bleeding off the edge a bit, right? So we'll just trim that, and obviously we need to trim this guy too. Like that. And this guy here. All right. And then let's go ahead and pull this off again. Julie Scraps said that, Julie Scraps said that reminds me to add your fussy cutting scissors to my wish list. I want to try them. Yes, I do have fussy cutting scissors that are pretty amazing. I won't show you how to use them right now, just because we're just not, we're not getting short on time yet, but we will be very shortly. All right, now I feel like I need one more thing. I could either, now we'll have to wait for this, right, till we get our background, but we will need to add something else up here. So maybe we add something like that up here, or we could also add something like this up here, because we do have a smaller little flower that could go up there. So we'll see, all right? We know, I am just temporarily going to put this guy right here, just to give me a frame of reference, so that I know what I'm doing as I'm making my list. All right, so now for my list. I need a bullet stamp because I will not be doing a vertical list like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even, bullet, 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 bullet. I will be doing a run-on, which means I'll be making a list, one just running right into the next, right into the next, right into the next. And with that said, I need to have something that will visually separate each of the items on my list. So I'm going to pull out my Bullets and More stamp sets. This original Bullets and More, and it's just called Bullets and More. That was one of the very first stamp sets, probably one of the first 3 stamp sets I did. And when I talked earlier about necessity being the mother of invention, well, I do a lot of list making. I need something to bullet or number my list. So this guy was the OG, Bullets and More. This one is Bullets and More 2, all icons. This one is Bullets and More 3. So what I just need is I need something just really basic. Why don't we do this? On Bullets and More 2, I have this little kind of daisy looking flower that's outlined, so it's not solid. Let me get this back. Wait, that was the TV. Where did the TV go? Put this little guy back on here. Like that. Well, the good news is the headache is starting to fade. the other good news is the loopiness now is really kicking in. All right, so this, now the words will be hard to come. And that's not narcotics, I promise you. It just opens up my blood vessels in my brain, and then that sometimes does weird things. I am taking my stamping stylus. So stamping stylus, remember we talked about right sizing your stamping block to your stamp. Well, those are little teeny tiny stamps, right? Little teeny tiny stamps. You know what size stamping block I would have if I tried to right size my stamping block to my stamp? It'd be like that big, and that would be impossible to hold. But this stamping stylus is very easy to hold. And our hand is very used to something like this because, look, it's just like that. We're used to writing with the pen or pencil. It's just like that, but that is our stamping block. So I am going to, I think we'll stick with the, well, we better check. Fossilized amber. Because it is yellow and because that stamp is outlined, it may be a little bit harder to see. So let's just look. Let's just put this right here. Oh no, we'll be fine. All right, see that? We'll be fine. We'll be able to see that, no problem. Sometimes if you're using an ink that is a little bit too light, it makes it a little bit harder to see. Like if you use maybe Tattered Rose or something like that, but we'll be okay here. So now I am starting to list my glimmers. The sunrise this morning. Which was freaking spectacular. I can't even tell you. We live the base of some mountains, and so there was the sun coming up over the mountains, and it was this beautiful golden, yellow, orange. It was stunning. Next one. These are in no particular order. Let me just mark this off. So, this one. Coffee. At home. My way after traveling for a week. Right? Not a big thing, but you know what? When you like your coffee a certain way and when you're traveling you can't make it or get it that certain way, and when you go home and you get coffee the way you like it after a week not having coffee the way you like it, that's a glimmer, my friends. In my book, that is a glimmer. I mean, that's one of those things that maybe you wouldn't think about. But this morning, as I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't been keeping track of my glimmers this month. And I really started having to think, well, there you go. Some things like that just pop right out. So they don't have to be huge. And the nice thing about glimmers is they are different for everybody. Maybe seeing the sunrise for me is a glimmer. Maybe seeing the sunrise for you is not a glimmer because that means you were up early enough to see the sunrise, right? So you do you. We all have different types of glimmers. But the importance is watching them and being aware of them and kind of, even if you don't write them down, just being cognizant of them, right? Because they will be so nice. Here's another one. Large, firm, blue berries in my yogurt. You know, the really big ones, the kind that you bite them and they like squish in your mouth because they're nice and firm. Yeah. That just makes me happy. Puts a little smile on my face. Thank you, Colleen. So now I would like to read that. This is the woman that had passed away earlier this year. That some friends in the industry started, I think this was the first year, World Fussy Cutting Day, right? And so Colleen said, the lady's name is Sharon Klima. Sharon owned a stamp and scrapbooking store in Amherst, New York area called Buffalo Stamps and Stuff. Over the years, I have been to the store and met Sharon. I'm very sorry for the loss of Sharon in our community. And Colleen, I'm very sorry for the loss of from your friend. And now I know why I was thinking kind of Canada because Buffalo, close to the border, right? But what a fun way for people in the industry to recognize her by taking one of things that she liked to do, fussy cut, and kind of starting a day after her in the industry, which is very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us, Colleen. Reading. I've been doing a lot of it lately. Now, for you, reading may not be a glimmer. Maybe you read all the time. sometimes when I'm feeling stress and I need to work and I need a break, I will jump on my phone and I'll be on social media just looking and reading. And Nick calls it doom scrolling because these days, let's be honest, there's a lot of doom that you see on social media. And or sometimes I would just get on my phone and play a game. And I am really, really, really trying not to do either of those things when I feel like I need a mental break. Because neither of those are good. They're both time suckers, time wasters. Dopamine, they steal your dopamine. And so I have been making a more conscious effort the last couple of weeks to pull out my Kindle and read. So for me, that is a glimmer because normally I don't read. I mean, I love to read, but I don't give myself the permission or time to read. I'm just taking the time that I've been doing other things and now like reallocating it to reading. So another glimmer. Let's see what else I have. Oh, this will be one of my glimmers for the year. Because at the end of the year, we will do a glimmer list, like your top glimmers from the whole year. This will be one that absolutely will be on my glimmers list for the year. The absolute angels that jumped in to help me with my store at crafting through the holidays. I don't even know what I was thinking. Clearly, I was not thinking that I could set up a store there and, have all of my products, not all of my products, have a number of my products, and more than 200 people there. And then I could just man that by myself on the Saturday that was open and everyone was cropping and crafting and doing whatever. So it opened up on Friday night and all day Saturday. And 6 women on Friday night that were there attending the event that had paid to be there to attend the event, jumped in immediately before I had even started setting up the store. What do you need? What can we do? And they took over. And it was, I think about it and it makes me want to cry. I don't feel like I have ever had anyone just do that for me. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then the next day, 4 of the 6 women who, again, had paid there to be there at that weekend, helped me all day in the store. It was unbelievable. And that's why I call them angels. And so that is one that will be on my glimmers list for this year. And I cannot thank those women enough. I can't even tell you. It was amazing. Scarlett Forever O'Hara said, does it matter what kind of eraser you use for priming your stamps? It doesn't, just a clean one. I use a white rubber eraser. I just make sure that I don't use it to erase like pencil. So I only use it for priming my stamps. Glimmers, Colleen said, glimmer this past week is watching the Toronto Blue Jays going from last place in the MLB last year to playing in the World Series this year. That is amazing, Colleen. And I love that that was a glimmer for you. Probably not a glimmer for some other people, right? Who were voting for the other team. Oh, I love it. Yes, Carol, incredibly kind to those women. And it's, Jill Pollyanna said crafters are the best. Yes, they just jumped in before I even knew I needed it and were truly angels. So that was amazing. Here was another one from that weekend. The kindest words and some of the most thoughtful gifts at the event. I had people say things, this too will make me want to cry. I had people say things to me that, in a good way, just were so nice. Just so nice. And they meant so much to me. And we talk about sometimes with glimmers that you can be on the receiving end of a glimmer, like seeing a sunset, but you can also be on the giving end of a glimmer. You might see somebody and you might know them and you might not know them. And you think they have a beautiful dress on. And we think it in our head, but a lot of times we don't share that. And just, I want to encourage you, if you think something like that, to share that. Be a glimmer in someone else's world. You never know when someone needs to hear that, or you never know how much that will affect you and your heart. I mean, them and their heart. But in turn, what that does to you is that gives you a glimmer back. So it's selfish, but it's unselfish, right? You guys, I mean, I can't even tell you, and I won't tell you because I don't need to tell you, but some of the things that people said to me were just, I will carry with me for a very long time. So just reminder, put glimmers out in the world too, right? And some of the gifts that people made, Robin, I don't know if you're still here. Robin's, I dropped and broke on the ground when she was standing in front of me and gave it to me, and I felt absolutely horrible. But the heartfelt gifts and even cards, just handmade tags, cards, just people thinking about you. It just means so much when people think, just go out of their way to do something like that for you. So just so much. Can't even tell you. Debbie, yes. Debbie said, I heard Kelly Bangs and Paula got to hang out with you recently. Was that in Texas? Yeah, it was at the Crafting Through the Holidays event. All right. I had lots of glimmers at that event. Let's see. Oh, okay. This was another one. Driving to Magnolia, which I knew we were going. I mentioned Vicki and I stayed a couple of extra days, and on Sunday and Monday, two amazing ladies from that area took us to Magnolia. We stayed overnight, or took us to Waco. We stayed overnight and then did the whole Magnolia Chip and Joanna Gaines thing. But driving to Magnolia and being totally surprised when we took a detour and stopped in Round Top. Round Top, Texas has been on my bucket list for, I'm really weepy today. I don't know why. This is not me. Probably, you know what it is? It's the migraine and it's the loopy. But that has been on my bucket list to go to forever. And I had no idea. They knew we were doing that. I didn't know. Vicki knew. I didn't know we detoured. So normally it's about a 2.5 hour drive from where we were to Waco. And it ended up being about a 4-hour drive because we detoured. We're pulling in. I'm like, oh my God, that sign just said Round Top. Are we going to Round Top? Are we in Round Top? I was like a kid at Disneyland. I was so excited. It's just been on my bucket list forever. And there we were. So that was another, amazing glimmer. And you guys, sometimes being cognizant of glimmers is one thing, but taking the time to document them, that even, I think, more fully cements them. And then you have them documented to look at later. Especially maybe if you are having a hard day. You come back to one of your glimmers lists where you have taken the time to document those things. I don't know, anytime I can come back and read these things, and it will bring back these memories, and it will just give me a glimmer. It'll put me in a good mood. All right. Banana taffy. Banana taffy. Banana taffy from Buc-ee's. Oh, I love me some banana taffy. And from Buc-ee's. We went to Buc-ee's too. I'd never been to Buc-ee's. I like banana, and banana taffy was so good. All right. You guys, I have more glimmers written down that I'm going to be able to fit on my list, which is a really good thing, right? Especially from someone who this morning didn't have, I'm like, oh shoot, I haven't been keeping track of glimmers. A closet full of empty hangers. That's another one. On Sunday, Nick and I spent all day, and Nick helped me. That's what kind of man he is. All day going through my closet, trying on everything I own. And having a closet full of empty hangers. You know what that means? That means that most of my clothes didn't fit anymore because they were too big. And that is a really big glimmer in my world. So I apologize for being weepy today. I don't know. Some of you have known me for many years and I don't get this way. So, but sometimes this is what glimmers brings out, right? And it's a good thing, right? Good tears are good. So that was very nice glimmer. I won't write this down, but then when I did, we've had the same woman who has cleaned our house probably for 20 years. I called her and said, Sandra, I have 10 giant garbage bags full of clothes. And she has family in Guatemala. And she and her daughter came over the next day, piled all those bags of clothes, and she said, these are all getting shipped to Guatemala. So that was also kind of a sub glimmer in and of itself. My mom brought me a bag of pomegranate seeds. And I love pomegranate seeds. I love pomegranates, but it's so too much of a pain to buy a pomegranate and cut it up and open them. She knows I like pomegranate seeds, so I think she brought a container of pomegranate seeds and then used some for whatever she needed them for, and then came to my house specifically to give me a baggie full of pomegranate seeds that I could eat. Pomegranate seeds. All right, so I have more on my list, but here's the deal. I don't think I want to go all the way down here. So I'm going to save some of these for later. I'm going to save some for later for my next glimmers list. Now I'm all nose running. And I am going to, I think, go back to my Glimmers 2 stamp set, and I am going to see what I have that might fit just right down there. I know I know I have something. So let's see. Let's see if we have something really small here. I think these are going to be too big. Because I want to put one of these up here. So let's come to this one. We have on the original Glimmer stamp set all of these word strips. So instead of a word strip sticker, I am going to do a word strip stamp. Everyday moments, savor the moment, mindfulness, the small things. Let's see here. What if we do everyday moments? I think everyday moments will be nice. And I think I will stamp everyday moments in, sorry, I keep sniffing. I'm going to stamp everyday moments in, you ask anyone in my life, you guys, I am not a crier. I just am not. That's just not me. But sometimes, apparently I'm a crier today. But it's a good cry today. It's not a bad cry. They're all good cries. There we go. Everyday moments. We're going to put this just right down here. It's like the perfect spot for it. Right there. Everyday moments. And then I am going to come in with, oh my gosh, I'm so silly. Usually what I use for the bullet stamp when I do a Glimmers list is the Glimmers bullet on the Glimmers stamp set. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Probably the migraine. All right, so now before we get much further, I'm going to put this little guy up here. Let me clean this off. Good idea to clean your stamps off right after you use them. I know I've cleaned what I've used before. I think I just forgot to say that. Boy, I'm going to have to make sure that I get some Kleenex for my eyes before I rotate the camera again. You guys will be like, oh my gosh, you are dressed for Halloween as a raccoon. You dressed for Halloween as a raccoon, you sly devil, you. All right, let's see. I did not, you know what I mean there though, right? Okay. Another stamping block, again, right sizing. And that little Glimmer stamp, I think we'd like to put right about here. All right. So now let's see if our piece is dry yet. It should be dry, right? I think dry enough that we can use it. Yes, happy tears. You guys are so sweet. Thank you for all of your kind words. You know, and especially freaking menopause. I tell you, the fact that it has the word men in it, that men don't have to deal with menopause, women have to deal with menopause. It should be called women pause or something like this, or some choice bad word. Oh my gosh, we don't know. We have no clue. Nobody teaches you about menopause. Nobody tells you that, oh, it's so much harder to lose weight when you are in menopause. Your body wants to hang on to everything. And everything, the composition of your body even changes. It's like, what the heck? What the heck? What do you do though? Just work harder, I guess. Just work harder. So yes, I have been working very hard this year. Very slowly, but very hard. And I don't know. I probably get so emotional about it because it's something I've dealt with, the weight, my entire life. Yo-yo and all that. I know some of you can relate to me when it comes to that. All right, are we good? Yeah, we're goodish, right? I think we'll be fine. So let's do this. The whole point of doing this now, like 8 days ago when we started this list or made our background, the whole point of doing this was so we could have a little shadow. We could have a shadow around our die cut and stamped glimmers word, right? So here's a question. Somebody reached out and asked me this the other day about this little die cutting machine. If all of my dies, all of my Lail by Mail dies fit that machine. And they do. I don't have a die that does not fit that machine because all of my dies I use in my traveler's notebook. So they are all smaller and fit that smaller machine. Now, you don't have to have a small machine. You can have a big machine and they all work the same. All right, so we've got our sandwich again. We won't belabor the whole making our bologna sandwich again. I'm face down. This is the shadow die. So the one I used before was smaller. It was meant to cut the glimmer word, right? That's what we used to cut the glimmer word. This one is slightly larger. It's a shadow. So we'll put that down like that, put that like that. See, it goes by so much faster when I'm not explaining the whole thing, right? And we just go on, run. Some of you might think, oh, Lael, oh, oopsie, what did I just do? I just hit a button. I stopped it in its tracks. Hopefully that didn't mess it up because we don't want to have to do that again, right? Oh yeah, we're good. All right, so that is our shadow. So look what we did. We created our own custom background with ink. We didn't even have to have paper for that. Well, we had to have paper, but you know what I mean. All right, so now let's find this glimmers word again. Peel this off. Oh my God, oh no, oh my gosh, I thought I did that backwards. Just about panicked there. Aha, look at it. Now, if I had peeled paint cardstock, that would have been great, but I didn't. But that is the exact color that I want there. So let's take our, you don't have to have cardstock, especially if you're looking for, you know, some, Nick. You guys hear that ruckus in the kitchen? I don't know what he's doing, but wow. 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 Ruckus. He forgets sometimes that I'm live. Like the day that he was using a Sawzall in the basement. Remember that? In the shop vac. All right, there we go. It is perfectly layered. So that is the glimmers word and shadow die. And we'll put that right there. And look, it was just exactly what we needed, right? Just that little shadow behind that makes it really pop, doesn't it? All right, let's do this. I'll just use our, and I am aware of the time. I know. You guys are like, there's no way, Lael, we can get all that done in 3 hours. But it'll be fine. It will be okay. We'll just, whatever we don't finish up today, we will do when we're together again. Oh, right. I was thinking, well, so this is probably going to look, you know what, it is what it is. It's going to be fine. It's very bottom heavy. We've got something, let's just see here. I think we need to do that. I think it was just way too bottom heavy with that little thing there. So we'll use our glimmers somewhere else. Pop this guy in there. Like that. And then I said I was going to stamp something right below that. So we need to go back to our glimmers, our original glimmers stamp set, which would be here. Oh, actually, I think I was going to use one of these. So on the glimmer stamp set, these words, today I noticed, this week I noticed, this month I noticed, and on glimmers too. Enjoy the little things and one little treasure at a time. Those are all designed to snuggle right in there. So let's see here. Pull this out and see which one we want to do. I think we'll do enjoying the little things because that's what I was doing, enjoying the little things. And we will do that also in fossilized amber. I will do it with that guy. Just give that a quick test over here. Okay, looks good. And that will slide right in there. All right, there we go. There is our list. Now, it's very plain over here, right? So I think the last thing that I will do is that's where I'll put those little glimmer stamps. The glimmer. All right, I need to grab some different adhesive here for a moment. When you start getting, I don't know, about halfway into your traveler's notebook insert, if you were using an insert like I do to list, that you get a lot of bulk over here, right? We end up getting bulk over here because we have a lot of things that have happened already here. So we want to make sure that we secure this edge well because gravity may want to take into effect and it might want to pop up. So I'm just going to use some of my double-sided score tape, my Suquang tape. That's the brand Suquang score tape, double-sided tape. Oh, I need the rest of this though. And then we need to put the lid back on this for a second. I am going to just peel back part of this. Just part. Because that will give me an opportunity to make sure I get this all even. Let's see, without this sticking. Okay, and then I can pull that out. All right, so now I gotta clean that off, gotta put that away, especially your little bullet stamps. You wanna clean and put away right away, or they will just get lost because they're so teeny. Fried bologna sandwiches, Virginia Bush, I just saw. Oh yes, and my glimmer dye away. I know, I've got to put all these things away, right? I've got stuff everywhere. So let me put this away. Where is my bullet stamp set? Bullets. There's not enough room. Okay, but let's be honest, right? If I had 28 feet to work with, I'd still be working in this little space, right? Isn't that how it is with you guys? You can have all the room in the world and you end up working in like a little 12 by 12 space. Little TV. I'm just going to clean the back of it because it's got a little dust or lint on it and the TV set doesn't want to stick here. All right, this guy back in here. Heavens to Betsy. Okay, and then let's do, this guy needs to get cleaned as well. I'm missing all kinds of things in the chat, so apologies if I have missed something that you have said. If it's a question, I think Amy is still here that she can answer. I know Terry knows lots of things as well, so Terry could help out as well if needed. And thank you guys. All right, let's get those put away. Now we need to go back to our glimmers that we already put away. And I think, so we have 3 different sizes here. So maybe we will take all 3 of these sizes of little glimmers and we will, uh-oh. Just about lost one of my little branches there. Okay, now I'm going to do glimmers, I think around here. So what if we did maybe here, and I don't know. I think I'm just going to do one. I'm worried that I won't like the way that it looks if I do all of those. So let's just try this one. This way. There we go. There's my little glimmer. And then I will do this little guy down here as well. And then we are going to be good. Haha. Guess who just walked right into the room and is standing at the door? We still have an hour, dear.
55 minutes.
We still have an hour, 55 minutes.
55 minutes.
55 minutes, okay. 55 minutes. I told you, he's going to cut the power of the house in 55 minutes. What?
Just gonna unplug the internet.
You're gonna unplug the internet? Yeah, no. If you were not here at the beginning, Nick and I are headed out in Harvey, our RV, for a couple days just to go southern Utah, and yeah. So Nick was out of town Thursday and Friday, which meant last night he got home, and we started getting Harvey ready at about, I don't know, 8:30 or 9, and it's all ready to go. So that I could still do my listing, because I'm like, Nick, I'm not missing that. He's like, fine, but we are going to be in the car you will be in the car at 1. And I'm like, okay, well, 12 Pacific time. All right, friends, here we go. So, we are good to go. What have I got going on here? This guy here. We're good to go with that list. I'm going to get our glimmers put away, and then we will get going on our second list. We definitely will not make it through all 3 today, but that's okay. We can pick up the third one when we are together again. But I think now is a really good time for another giveaway, another live giveaway. What do you say? So I am going to put these things away. I need this guy again in a minute. I'll end up with something else up here because it's kind of plain. I mean, I really like the way this looks by itself, very plain, but then there's a lot going on here. So at some point I will come back and add a little bit more to this side, probably some rub-ons or something. I'll figure something out. Or I don't know, you know what I could do? I could take this and maybe just make a whole little background with those just around here. But I won't do that now, all right? We'll see next time we're together. We'll see what I ended up doing there. Okay, so I'm going to put these things away, and we will get our next list, our things for our next list ready to go. And once I have the things put away and the things for our next list ready to go, I will stop, and we will, in my head, you know what just went on? Stop, hammer time. We won't stop and do hammer time. We will stop. I will stop. I will draw another random lucky winner. And let's say, how about the glimmers stamp set? The glimmers stamp set will be a glimmers, not the one I used. You don't have to have a used one. A glimmers stamp set will be prize. No, that just looks like I just put it there because that's what I did. We'll come back to it later. Sometimes you need to come back later because sometimes you're like, oh, nothing is really working. And I look like I just keep shoving stuff on there that's not really working, right? So it's okay to walk away. All right, let's get these guys away. So our next list, because, you know, this is our last listing before Halloween. Halloween is right around the corner, right? And if you're not a Halloween fan, don't leave because I'm going to give you another idea on how you might use this list topic. This list topic is my haunted house guest list. So if I was having like a Halloween soiree, a haunted house soiree party, if I was having a fun haunted house party, who would be on my guest list? Who would be on my guest list? I don't know, this guy might have to work its way in there at some point, but I'm going to stop. Step away from this one, Lael. All right, so who would be on my haunted house guest list? Before I turn this page, just really quick, I need to just get these little guys here. I don't think I got glue on them. And then behind this guy as well. And I'll give him a second to stick down there. So, if you were having a Halloween soiree, who would be on your guest list? Now, if you're like, Lael, oh, I'm out. I don't do Halloween. And I'd say, well, guess what? Then change it if you were having a dinner party and you could invite anyone that you wanted. Who would be on the guest list, right? So I always try to have list topics or list prompts for us that could work for anyone, right? And if Halloween's not for you, then just flip it on its head and say, well, if I was having a dinner party, who would be on my list? All right. So our second live giveaway. Second live giveaway. Oh, we're going to have 3 today because I have one more on my list. That was glimmers. Our second live giveaway in the chat scrolling goes to Mama Driggs. Mama Driggs. Mama Driggs, congratulations. Congratulations. You win the Glimmers stamp set. Please send an email to laelbymail@gmail.com. In the subject line, please put winner Glimmers stamp set. That is so helpful. I can't even tell you when you tell me what prize you won. In the body of the email, please put your name and address, and we will get your prize shipped this week. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right. Oh, and you know what? I just saw someone just said I could add the rest of my glimmers here. I could. I'll have to play with that. But it is. Yes, this definitely is. This is not finished. I have to tell you that because there's so much going on over here, and this is really plain over here. Like I said, I really like the look of this by itself with all this white space up here. But then when I see this, it's too much. So just know it's not done yet. It's not done yet. All right. So for our second list. Our second list. I love it. You guys are saying. Let's see, the women from Practical Magic, Scarlett Forever O'Hara. Great point. She said the glimmer stamps would be great for the gratitude journal we made at Crafting Through the Holidays. So if you are working on a gratitude journal, this time of year, right? November is very close, where we're thinking about gratitude and things we're thankful for. A lot of people like to do a gratitude or thankful journal during the month of November. Glimmers would be a great thing to put on your thankful list, right? I'm thankful for a beautiful sunrise. I am thankful for the angels that helped me with my store at the Crafting Through the Holidays event. I am so thankful that I got an amazing text from Sam yesterday saying, "You're the best mom ever, love you to the moon and back," right? So I can easily, that was one of the things on my glimmers list that I didn't have room for, by the way. So you can kind of your glimmers and your gratitude and your thankful all can kind of roll into one. And if you have the glimmer stamp set or if you get the glimmer stamp set, you could work that into your thankful 30. Some people do a thankful 30, whatever it is for the month of October. All right. So the product that I have pulled out, and this is what you saw on the flat lay, and this is what you saw originally on my little desktop here. These are papers and die cuts from the Fall Holiday Season Pass. My Fall Holiday Season Pass. And just so you know, that is going to be the third live giveaway. So if you want to stick around, you can. A Fall Holiday Season Pass. So Fall Holiday Season Pass. 3 months, October, November, December. And these are the die cuts for the month of October. And I have cut down some of the papers for the month of October. So I don't know. I don't think that I am going to use paper on this one. I think I'm going to do everything directly on the page. But these are the papers I cut down. So these are the papers from the fall holiday, let's see, season pass. Like that, front and back. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh. That's front and back. This one is front and back. And then this one, the back side of that has the cut apart cards on it. There's tons of inspiration on the website under the Fall Holiday Season Pass. These are 2 sketches of examples. Don't mind, I was test stamping on the back, so don't mind that. Sketches that my graphic designer has created for us. This is a sketch for a traveler's notebook, so traveler's notebook spread that you could do 2 pages, but that could also work on a 12 by 12 if you're a scrapbooker. And this is a sketch for a 12 by 12 layout using products from the October products from the Fall Holiday Season Pass. All right, so what I thought I would do, I will end up using this stamp, but not the die today. This is one of the new stamp sets that was released in September. In the box scallop. So in the box, this is very dirty. It is very well used and loved stamp set of mine. This is the original in the box. We recently came out with in the box scallop. So same size boxes, but instead of the hand-drawn lines, you have the little scallops. So I'm going to, what do I have on here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things on my list. Here's this is funny. If you want to see my my listing with Lael workbook, this is what I use every time to plan our sessions. This was my sketch for the list that we just did. Love all of the words right there, right? I mean, all of the flowers. This is my sketch for this list, just my little boxes and some stars. So that's my plan. All right, so I have 6 things on my list. I also need a title. I thought what might be fun for my title would be to use, I was thinking Willy Alpha, because Willy Alpha is kind of whimsical and it would work really well, I feel, on this list. So this is haunted house guest list. Maybe this needs to be Halloween soiree. I like that better. Halloween soiree guest list. So if I did Halloween soiree and then wrote guest list under that. Why does that seem like that's a new sheet? Ink colors. So let's grab, I think it is Spice Marmalade. I think Spice Marmalade is what I swatched to go with the orange in this collection. Let's look. Spice Marmalade. Yes, that's perfect. So I am going to stamp my title. I need very small, right? We are right sizing our stamping block to our stamp, so that should work for all of my stamps. What did I call it? Oh, Halloween soiree guest list. So I am actually, no, this will just take me a minute. It'll take a bit of time, but this is just what I have to do because this is me. When I am stamping a word, I stamp every letter individually because I like to control how close I get to each letter. Hang on, let me reword that or re-say that. I like to control how close each letter is to the next one. And you can't do that if you are putting them all on the same stamping block because all of your stamps have a little kind of border around them, little border of the stamp material. All right, I just pulled out a pencil board. Pencil board is an important part of your stamping process if you're stamping in a traveler's notebook because look at all of this. There's layers there. If I start stamping over here, at some point I'm gonna run into those layers and then my stamped letter will not look right. So if I take a pencil board, slide it under my page, that gives me a nice flat surface to stamp on. All right, so let's get all these things here. We're gonna try to stamp these pretty quickly. There's my H. And I am going to alternate upper and lower case. That will lend a little bit more whimsicalness. Whimsicalness. All right, whimsicalness to my title if I mix upper and lower case. So Willy stamp set. This guy is, let me move this over here so you can kind of see. Willy stamp set is L, hand drawn by my friend Christine of Pop Daisy Art. This one's been out for a while. But it's just a fun, really fun, whimsical alpha stamp set. And you have upper and lower case on here. You also have numbers on here. Oh, and guess what? I didn't even test. I'm just going. I'm throwing caution to the wind here, friends. I threw caution to the wind. Let's see. Hello, Marion by the Sea from Anna Cortez. My friend lives near my sister. My listing friend that lives near my sister. Nice to see you. Oh, guess what? I just had a thought. Guess what we're going to do? We are going to add a little pumpkin for our O. Won't that be cute? Yes, I like it. When you were spelling a word, it's fun to do something like that. If you have a letter that resembles a shape, sometimes I'll put a heart in, but a pumpkin is just perfect for this, right? Pumpkin is perfect for this. And it's like the perfect size too, isn't it? Halloween. W. Remember, if Halloween isn't your thing, that's totally okay. Just change it up. You're having your own soiree. Who's invited to your soiree? Halloween. Oops. Elmarge 64. So, I'm not sure where you are in the video, so I'm going to answer it for where I am. This is the Willie Alpha Solid stamp set that is on my website. Scarlet Forever, Sarah said, now that you showed me how to properly stamp, I want all of them. So, and I'm not sure if you're referring to this. However, this is something I did when I taught at Crafting Through the Holidays event where Scarlett was. I don't know if your name is really Scarlett, but we went through all of my tips and tricks and techniques for stamping. I promise you, makes such a difference. It makes such a difference. All right, here's our little E. We're just about done with our first word. See, this isn't taking too long, right? Again, I get to control by doing this how close my letters are together, and I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to that. Blue Bonnet 1014 said, hello, first time here. I heard about your channel from Elizabeth at the Joyful Sojourn. I love that. Good morning, good afternoon, Blue Bonnet. Nice to have you join us. Love it when friends share fun places to be. Yes, we have a lot of fun here. We're doing our creative listing, and this list is Halloween soiree guest list. So I missed something, Wanda. I missed something. Ooh, who would you invite to a bonfire? Might be a nice alternative. Yes, I love it. Who would you invite to book club? Right? Ooh, you know what? Okay, hold on. I gotta stop really quick. We gotta take a quick break. You can tell my migraine's gone now, can't you? Quick break. We are jumping over to our list ideas page here. And I am, wait, who said that? Sarah. Sarah BK1KC. Invite to bonfire. And I'm also going to do invite to book club. Wouldn't that be fun? Because if you invite to book club, wouldn't it be fun to invite a whole bunch of different authors to a book club? Yeah. This could take on a whole series of its own. Who would you invite to a wedding? Who would you invite to a baby shower? Who would you invite to Christmas? Who would you invite to Hanukkah? Who would you invite to anything, really? Right? Okay. So, soiree. Okay. Hang on. Soiree. Soiree. Is that correct? Will someone check my spelling? Soiree. Soiree. And then there's a little accent, but I think, is it right here? Who would you invite for a girls' wine tasting weekend? Girls' trip. I love it. Girls' trip. Another one. We can do this whole Who Would You Invite series. Wouldn't that be fun? But I have to write these down because if I don't, then I will forget. Girls' trip. Girls' trip. Who's coming? And now it could be your friends, but you know what? It doesn't have to be our friends. It could be like people that we would like to have with us, right? Okay, thank you. Soiree. All right, so now this needs to go here. So we better start with a little S because we don't have a ton of room. You guys, your alphabet stamps. So sometimes we use alphabet stickers, sometimes we use alphabet stamps. There's pros and cons of both, right? Alphabet stickers, definitely faster, right? They would go much faster. However, alphabet stickers are limited to what you have on your sheet and what colors you have, right? So they may be less expensive. They may be, we didn't talk about that yet. They're quicker, but you might not have the color you want, or you might have run out of the letter that you need. The next thing that comes into play is cost. The onset, your alphabet stickers are less expensive, one-time use, right? So if you invest in your alphabet stamps and you take care of them, they will last you forever. And then you never run out of the letter you need, right? You never run out. You can't unless you lose it. But we do both, right? There's room for both. Halloween soiree. Isn't it interesting how font choice really can set the tone? Sarah said, does bulk become a problem after a while of listing in Traveler's Notebook? Sarah, it does not for me. Let me finish this title and I'll show you what I do. Soiree. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I would like to come in and make it a big R. I think a big R will be better there. Big, uppercase. It is bigger, but uppercase R. Font choice. Yes, font choice setting the whole stage here, isn't it? If I used cursive stamp, or cursive letters, it would not be as whimsical, right? All right. All right, S-O-R-I-E-E, S-O-R-I-E-E. I think we'll probably do 2 little E's. Ooh, okay, so I did not get enough ink on there, and that's okay, because what I'm going to do, it'll be fine. I can come back in with my right persimmon, or spice, not even right persimmon, wrong color. Spiced marmalade watercolor pencil when we're done, and I'll kind of color that in. If I had been test stamping that first, you can tell I'm in a hurry. If I had been test stamping first, I would have identified that I didn't have enough ink on there, and I could have fixed that. All right, that is Willy Alpha. There are 2 Willy Alphas. There is a Willy Alpha, and then there is a Willy Alpha outline. So it is the same stamp set, but it is just an outline version. So you can use this one by itself, you can use this one by itself, or you can use them together. I won't do this, but what I could do is now take the same exact letter with black and stamp all over those. Stamp each letter, the outline version over those, and then it would give it a whole different look. All right, I apologize that I'm starting to speak much more quickly because, you know, you can tell. 27. We have 33 minutes. 33 minutes. All right, so Halloween soiree, and then I need to do, guest list. Ooh, let's take that out. Guest list. Let's do this. Who I'd invite to the party. All right, Halloween soiree, who would I invite to the party? Now, I'm going to do this. Don't worry that extra space over there, I have a plan for that because I know it looks a little bit uneven right now. Take my little ruler. I'm just going to make a little visual separator here because it'll just give us a little breathing room. All right, now I am going to take, ooh, where is that? I am going to take the stamp set. I'm going to start talking very slowly while I look for this. I had it earlier. The stamp set from the fall holiday season pass. And I am going to just do a little bit of stamping very quickly. But where? Did I put it in here? All right, friends, hold please while I look for this. Part of my reach. I know we're going to get this list done before I have to go, assuming I can find the stamp set very quickly. All right, if I was the stamp set, where would I have gone? I would be, where's the kit? Where's the kit? Oh, darn it. It was here this morning. I promise. It was here this morning. Oh, here it is. That's why I couldn't see it. Is it in there? Oh, the heck. Okay, no. It was still here this morning. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold please. I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna put this right here so you know I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still in the room. I am just going one more place to find it. Oh, if you guys could see the mess in here. You'd be like, Lael, no wonder you can't find it. You'd be like, I'm ashamed of you. It's a creative mess. Creative messes are the best mess. However, until you can't find what you're looking for, then it's no longer the best mess. Okay, I know where another one is. Hang on. I'm coming. Alrighty, well, let's talk about our giveaway. I mentioned our third live giveaway that we're going to do is your very own fall holiday season pass. And because I cannot find, the stamp set, I have just gone to a fall holiday season pass and I have pulled the stamp set out. So whoever wins the fall holiday season pass during the live giveaway, you are going to win a stamp set that has been used once. Otherwise, Lord only knows where that is. All right, so it'll still be awesome. It'll still work great. It just will be gently used. Gently used. What I was looking for, ran up and down the stairs, was this. I would like to use that little cluster of stars. And I'm going to kind of pop some clusters of stars in different areas here. Although, I think maybe right now, I just want maybe a little bat there. Let's use the bat there and then we'll do stars other spot. Because this guy, yeah, that works. Okay. I will use the stars, don't worry, after I just ran to get the stamp set. Okay, so let me just get this down. And we'll do that giveaway in just a sec, friends. Okay, there we go. Now it's kind of uneven. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It doesn't matter. All right, so I have 5 or 6. I think I might end up with just 5. One person is getting crossed off my list. So I am going to use these guys. Now, inspired by, in general, the layout or the design of this by one of my design team members, Marsha Ferris. She did a really fun list. Not a list, it was like a Halloween memories traveler's notebook spread that she did using the die cuts from Fall Holiday Season Pass and these little, oh my gosh, Lael, the in the box scallop stamp set. So inspired by her. Oh, okay. I just did something that I caution us not to do all of the time. We have to take a quick second and I need to show you what I did. You may have just noticed I went like this and went, ooh. Before I was getting ready to, I'll do the giveaway as soon as I show this. Before I was getting ready to stamp on here, I wanted to check what I had done on the other page to make sure that my stamping here was not going to affect something that I had worked so hard on the prior page. And as I lifted that, I realized, whoops, Lael, you checked too late because all of this stamping I did here, guess what? There is now shadowing and ghosting on my list right here. Now you can see that. I'm going to make it very obvious by making a lot of light show through. So it's not too bad, but I now definitely need to really work with this a little bit because there is a little bit of shadowing or ghosting. And it's fine. It's fine. But I always usually caution you before you start stamping on the page itself, check what you did before to make sure you're not about ready to affect what I just did. All right? It happens. It happens, right? Tell you not to do it, and then I do it myself. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, so now I need my stamping block for this cute little in-the-box scallop. And I think what I will do, we definitely still want to use our pencil board, right? this little guy will go here. And I'm going to use black. And we'll see what happens underneath. Usually, to prevent that, what I do is, if I have worked directly on the page here, then I will do something like this, where I'm putting a piece of pattern paper down before I do anything on this next page. But I didn't do that. It's okay. Oh, stop. Let me do the prize. Let me do the prize. Scroll up. The Wanda Bradford 5100 wins the fall holiday season pass. That's, oh yeah, here we go. Wanda, please shoot me an email. lailbymail@gmail.com. In the subject line, please write winner fall holiday season pass. Please put your name and mailing address in the body of the email, and the team will get your prize shipped out to you this week. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right. I've missed all kinds of things in the chat today. Diane said, I feel like I am always pivoting because I screwed it up somehow. And here's the thing. Guess what? That's part of crafting, right? I don't know. I don't crochet or knit, but I think sometimes you're crocheting and something weird happens, and then you just have to figure out how to pivot or make it work, right? And that's what we do, right? We don't start over. We don't cry. We just say, oh, well, and then we keep going. I like to joke, that's how we know it's not AI. AI didn't create this, a human did, because AI wouldn't do that. Or I don't know, AI might, because they tend to give someone 6 fingers sometimes, right? Or like an ear sticking out of their nose. This little daintiness of this little in the box stamp makes me so happy with those scallops. There is another in the box stamp set coming out next year. I'll just test it on this. Ooh, it's gonna be good. Another in the box stamp set coming out. Oh, we've got so many fun things planned, you guys. I can't even tell you. Every once in a while you get a sneak peek. Every once in a while I share a sneak peek. I did. I don't know, I showed a couple, I think, one of the last times we were together. I don't know what it was. I will refrain from that today because we don't have a ton of time. But I will tell you, mid-November, November 15th is when the November Stamp and Die release hits. And there's something exciting. Well, always something exciting. But something really exciting is part of that. I think. Amy thinks too. All right. Oh, Virginia, I love it. She said, I loved used products. My girlfriend sent me a box full of Ferris wheel inks and amazing handmade paints. Yes, right? Ah. All right, I am going too fast. So let's see what happened here. Do you see how that whole part didn't stamp? I was not paying enough attention. Either that or, that's what happened. That played with it under there. Exactly. So that got in the way, and a pencil board can't help with that. So what I'm going to do to fix that, I'm going to draw it in with my pen. Talk about pivoting, right? I'm going to draw the rest of this in with my pen. Now, I could put a sticker there, right? I could put a sticker there. However, that's what I'm already planning to do over here as a die cut, so I wouldn't want to put one there. But you can always find something to fix something with, right? So I did this. Now let's see. I don't know. This might not work well. I'm just drawing in those little scallops that I missed. It's fine. No one's going to notice, and if they do, it's okay. All right, so there's my first box, and then I think I will continue drawing the boxes, but over here, I will probably have that happen again. So, because I am stamping over something that is already there on the back side, there's not a lot I can do about that. So we'll just see what happens here. This time we're going to go this way. But now I know where my trouble issue may be, so I can try to pay a little bit more attention to that. Just a little tiny bit right here. And again, that's not the stamp. That is because it's running into something underneath it or behind it. Okay. And then I think what we will end up doing, I might do one of these vertical. What if I do a vertical right here? I think it might be fun to switch that. And now I don't have to worry about running into something underneath because I haven't done anything underneath it. We haven't got to the next page yet. Okay. Make sure we've got nice, excuse me, nice even pressure because we, it's a larger stamp, right? More surface area to that stamp. So my list is just going to, the things on my list are going to go into these boxes. Okay. Nice even pressure there. Alrighty, one more. Now, what I may end up doing, let's just look. Maybe here we do the other guy, the little one. Oh, this one. Just to break it up a little bit. I think we'll do that because this will start to get a little bit tight there, I think. Yeah, we'll do the little one. So with this stamp set, there are also the coordinating dies that go with it. So I could have stamped that on white cardstock or pattern paper. That would be fun too. And then cut it out with the die. So while I am cleaning this off and stamping the other one, because I don't really need to be talking about what I'm doing right there. Let's just talk about dates. If you missed me at the beginning, we are not listing for the next 2 weeks, the 1st or the 8th, because the 1st I will be doing my December documented mini book project class. So that Saturday we'll be busy doing that. And then the 8th, I will be out of town teaching at an event in Southern California. But after that, we will be back to our regularly scheduled listing time and schedule with the exception of one weekend in the month of December where I will be out of town. I don't think we talked about what the after party prize is, did we? After party prize. Let's do some more pouches for the after party prize. So, after party prize takes place after the video is over. So anyone can participate. You don't have to be watching live. But if you are watching live, doesn't mean that you can't not participate. Anyone can participate. And you leave a comment on the video when it is over. Not in the chat, but the video when it's over. And then when we are listing together again in 2 weeks, I will draw a random lucky after party prize winner to win the set of 5 different sizes of the craft storage pouches. All right, there we go. So there's the start. Very fun and whimsical, right? With our title. And now in hindsight, I wish I would have dropped that one down a little bit more, but it's okay. It's okay, Lael. All right, so now let's figure out the die cuts we want to use. I was thinking this might be fun right here with this little fence in front of it. And that actually work, or behind it, in front of it? I don't know, maybe we don't want the fence because the fence would really need to, I think that's just gonna go right there like that. Oh, but we could do, maybe we do the moon behind it. And then we take one of our little bats to go behind there. Like that, yes. Now we have on this stamp set, the stamp set that goes with the fall holiday season pass. There's also a little bat, eek, fall, and then we start moving into like Thanksgiving, November, and then December. But we'll still use some of those little guys. The little, you know what? This room is going to stay a mess while I'm out of town. And you know what? That's okay. I usually hate to do that, leave things a mess, but just not gonna work. Because I would have we probably would have been on for 15 minutes. So it would have been like, okay, we're gonna list, oh, 15 minutes is over. Now I need to spend the rest of the time getting my room clean, so it's clean before I go out of town. All right, let's use one of our little pieces of this again to hold all three of those together. Oh, well, it won't matter for that guy because I'll have to put him on later, but that's okay. Nothing will adhere to him right now. That's just my highlighter tape again. Takes multiple pieces, turns them into one piece, so it makes it much easier to have your things stay where you want them. Stay grouped or layered where you want them. All right. Oh, Nick's back for a minute. You guys would have been proud of me. Some of you that have been with me for a long time. I turned off the Bluetooth on my phone last night because I knew if Nick was in Harvey, he'd turn Harvey on the RV and then the Bluetooth would try to connect to my phone and then I would lose you. Nancy Mars. Hello, Nancy Mars. So fun to see you. Dumb question, never a dumb question. Are the papers and die cuts part of the fall holiday season pass? I have been out of the loop so long. Yes. All the papers, the papers and the die cuts I'm using and the stamp set are part of that fall holiday season pass. And then you have die cuts and papers for November and die cuts and papers for December as well. They are all part of that same fall holiday season pass. Great question. Not a dumb question at all. No, you guys should always ask questions. And Virginia said, I'm new here and I have asked so many questions. Glad someone else is too. You guys should always ask questions. Please, 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 right? All right, so now let's see what else we're going to decorate. We could add maybe, and the whole idea, you guys, behind the season pass is that you just have a snippet. You have a little small spattering of products for that month or for that holiday in this case, right? Because sometimes you don't need a whole full entire collection. And that's not to say that we don't love having a full collection of Christmas or I don't know, whatever it is. But sometimes you just need a little bit. And that's the whole idea behind Season Pass, is you just have a little bit. So we have plenty of die cuts to work with and 4 12 by 12 papers to work with, several stamps to work with, and then washi. Oh, I didn't use washi. This is the roll of washi that's in there for October. There are 3 rolls of different washi, and then you even have word strip stickers. So basically your word strip stickers for October would be all of those guys. All righty, let's see now. We have, the kitty. We gotta use a kitty for sure. Should we put the kitty here? We have owl. We can use owl too. It's kind of fun, I think, to get in a little bit of this blue, right? Let's put that there. Let's put the owl right there. Owl goes here. So here's the thing. I think we'll get him decorated. We probably won't get our list started though. I mean, this is started, but we won't get it done. Trick or treat. Ah, look at that. Trick or treat or ink or boo. Well, I think we know one goes there, trick or treat, because we need something a little bit longer. So trick or treat works well there. Pop this guy right here. And then we have, where did this guy, I love this guy, our little spider web. Let's pop this guy right there. It's all coming together. And then let's get our glue pen, out again and just get those little points. Okay. Oopsie. This guy will go right there. And then we need our little kitty. Little kitty is gonna go right here. Yes, it's cute. It's coming together. All right, so now let's get our stars. Let's figure out where our stars are going to go before we get too much deeper involved here. Oh, all right. Let me just pull this off for a minute. I would like to have some stars behind that moon. And I could do, well, you know what we might as well do, let's do fossilized amber stars. How about that? So we'll just put some stars. In there. Let's see what our moon looks like over there. See if we need any more stars. Yeah, we will need a few more stars. So let's go right here. Really quickly, I am going to grab a sticky note. There's so much stuff on the floor there, I can't even get that open. Okay, here we go. We don't worry about what's on it. I need to mask off right here because I do not want my stars to go there on top of my haunted house, and I also don't want my stars to go there. So I just created that little mask, and now when I put these stars here, they will only go where I want them, right? There and there. And then we've got part of one there. And then let's just make this go right there. And then we might need, we've got a very starry night here. All right, now we'll put our moon back in there. There we go. That's cute, they can just stay there. And then maybe we'll do some stars, how about over here too? Over by this guy. And every once in a while, I will rotate that stamp because I don't want those guys to look like, I'd like it to look a little bit more whimsical. Now, ideally, I would have done this before I did, I'm just gonna go in and do it. Ideally, I would have done that before I added that down, but it's okay. So let's just look at those stars. They're my little stars, my little star cluster there. And my little stars up in that corner. All right, so now, what time is it? Not too many minutes left. All right, so I'm going to start writing my list. All right, I'm going to start going in my boxes. See, I really can go quickly if I need to, right? Like it doesn't have to take us a whole long time, right? So Pam, good question. She said, are you doing guests that are no longer with us or people who are still with us? Well, these are people that were really never with us. So first on my list is a witch. The first one is Samantha Stevens from Bewitched. Samantha Stevens from Bewitched. She would arrive early, twinkle her nose, and all of the work would instantly be done. Right? Remember her? Samantha Stevens from Bewitched. Yes, we love Bewitched. Let's see. Virginia said, question. In the season pass, are a lot of projects done with die cutting? I don't have a machine, nor do I want to invest in one now. None of the projects in season pass are with die cutting. There are no dies, no metal dies with the season pass. Everything is physical product. So the stamps, the die cuts like these were already part of the kit. This is just partial. Why is that hot? Like this, so your die cuts are already pre-packaged for you, like that. We do one class a month, and that is to set up our Traveler's Notebook. And you can see examples of what that looks like with the Season Pass project on the website. there is a unboxing video, Virginia, here on my YouTube channel of that fall holiday season pass. So you can see me walk through all the products that are in the kit. That will probably be the most helpful. And then after that, if you have any questions, just, yeah. You can just reach out my website. All right, so that she was the first one. Next up is, we can probably get to the next one. The next one is Casper the Friendly Ghost. Remember Casper? Which is funny, I didn't use any of the ghost die cuts on this. Casper the Friendly Ghost. He would be the official greeter and welcome everyone to the party. Okay, Casper the Friendly Ghost. Next up would be, 4 minutes. All right. Next up would be, let's see, Scooby-Doo and Friends. What did I write about that? Scooby-Doo and Friends. They would add a little bit of chaos. And help to solve any mysteries that popped up. All right. Guess what? 2 more. Okay. We would have Glenda, the Good Witch. Glenda the Good Witch to, what did I write here? You guys, this is like, it's so hard to read my writing. Glenda the Good Witch, we know from the Wizard of Oz. To balance out the Wicked Witch of the West. They would provide the singing entertainment. Okay, last up. Let me see. Did it? All right, I have too many people. 1, 2. Oh yes, because I had 6. So last 2 I had. One of the groups was the the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. Then I also had Elvira. So I'm booting Sanderson sisters for Elvira. Elvira. She would be the life of the party and keep everyone on their toes. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it, you guys. Look at that. It is 12:59. 12:59. Okay, so last thing. You know what? I'm not going to do this now. I will come back and I will add some of my word strip stickers. But holy cow, you guys. Did you ever think, I'm moving here. I'm moving fast. Did you ever think that we'd get them all done? Especially the first one, the Glimmers one, took so long. Oh, we didn't get them all done. Silly Lael. We got 2 of the 3 done. I was feeling really proud for us for a minute. Ooh, golly, that's not a good look right there. that was so close to me. Anyhow, you guys, I'm so proud of us. We got 2 done, and we got that last one done pretty quickly, right? So we did not get our 3rd list done. When we are together again in 2 weeks, we will start off with our 3rd list. And our 3rd list is a fun one because it's a totally different type of one. And it's a list that probably all of us, even if we've never done creative listing before, have at least done a list like this, and it's a to-do list. To-do lists, I like to work into my traveler's notebooks every so often because they are truly a snapshot of your life at a specific point in time. It's like a little mini time capsule. So if you are joining us in 2 weeks, or you want to work on that list between now and then, and you want to do a to-do list, it's an easy one, right? Take one of your to-do lists or make a to-do list. And don't put special things on it. They're going to make it sound fun and flowery. Just literally put what's on your to-do list. That's what I did. I literally had what's been on my to-do list the last week or so. Because that tells a very specific story about where you are in your stage of life. All right, my friends. Before my husband walks in, it is now 1 minute after, and says, come on, we're going to finish. So you guys, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being with me with the migraine and the loopiness and the tears and the good tears, the happy tears, right? But thank you. I always so much enjoy our time together, seriously. I miss it when we don't list. I miss you guys. I feel like I'm selfish because I personally get so much out of this when we are together. It makes me stop and get everything else out of my head and focus on being creative, and that is really important. That's important to me, and I know that's important to a lot of us. So it gives me an excuse to set everything else aside and be creative, and it gives me an excuse to be here with you guys and to be social and to laugh and have fun, and we need more of that in our lives, right? All right, thank you, friends. I will see you in 2 weeks. I may do a What's New Wednesday this coming week. I may see some of you on Tuesday night for our fall holiday season pass class for the November setup. I may see some of you next Saturday for the December documented mini book class. If I don't see you in the next 2 weeks, I hope to see you after that. If I don't see you then, I hope to see you sometime over the holidays. And if I don't see you then, please have a wonderful holiday season and Happy New Year. And I know that sounds weird to be saying that in October, but if I don't see you then that's what I'd say to you if I saw you in person now. Thank you for watching, friends. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Did you hear that? He just walked in and said time. Bye, friends. Thank you. Uh-oh. I'm not hitting the button. Okay, there's a little thing on here. There we go. Bye.